Hello and welcome back to the Metroball Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks for tuning in. How's it going? It is the 10th of March, 2022. 2020. Yeah, that's right. Year of our Lord. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're doing well. We have quite a week. It's been a week in Netrunner. It's like we got a whole booster pack or something the day after we finished streaming last week. Nisei snuck up on us. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, that's for sure. Ixaran, yo, how's it going? I read your comment. It says, I feel like we should start every stream by going over Trash or Busto now, like it's some sort of Netrunner stonks. It's actually quite interesting. I feel like I'm, at this point, a pretty significant part of this data set. I have this just open up on my phone. It's not good for my attention span. But whenever I have, like, 2 minutes and I forget what I was meant to be doing, I just trash or bust though. I think I'm like 600 votes in. I'm not joking. It's so easy and it's so satisfying to think that like your obviously superior Netrunner evaluation can control and it can manipulate a data set. So we're gonna look at what things look like right now. Chess, how's it going? Hey, how's Friday? Timberlang, hey Andre, been a while since I caught the stream. Good to see you. Hey, good to see you too. It has been a while. How you been doing? David, hello, welcome. My name is Dave. Dave, nice to have you. Pouch as well. Hey everyone, hi Andre, how you doing? Oh, who's this? Patrick J. Sklar. I can't believe they revealed Light the Fire right after our stream. It's also like really annoying because I think Light the Fire might be, or is this Start a Fire? It's Light a Fire, right? I think Light a Fire might be the best Nisei card in the set by like a large margin. I think it's an absolutely absurd card. But I think we just had a stream, and I think we've done this stream name before, but we had Start the Fire or something like that as a stream name for our Spark stream. So we can't do it again. We've burnt that bridge. Trasher Busted has been super useful for doing research and data crunching for a cube. Really? Do you actually go to like all ranks and check out like where things stand? It's by far the most meta shaking, specifically for startup. For startup, it's like incredible, like unbelievable. And I don't know how more people are not like sky is falling on this one. Like I'm really sky is falling on this one. Maybe in standard a bit less so, but like in gateway, oh my god, or startup, excuse me. Anyone know when the booster will be live on Jinteki.net? Timberlang, I hoped it would be tonight. I talked with some Nisei folks and they said there was a chance it was going to be this week, but I didn't talk to the JNet team, so it's just like I think everyone is hoping it would be this week. We're going to be playing with some of the cards online on JNet, but they're not in JNet. So we're just going to be proxying them and labeling our lobbies and then having like, if you see this yellow card, it's Vladisibirsk Grid, stuff like that. So I don't know. I hope it's soon. Because I'm pretty sure also on the article itself, it says like be Jinteki.net integration physical cards available soon. So it's been a week almost. So we hope it's soon. Huh, for sure. I asked for ice and icebreaker pages as well. Oh, super cool. Blowing up Skunk Void is going to be so strong. Well, that's the thing is like that obviously like totally dismantles Skunk Void, which I think is, if you look very unscientifically, and we'll talk about this more in depth once we get to the news, right? But if you go to like search and you go to select allowed packs, let me move my face. Oh, that's not my face. What did I just move? And then we move. God. Why? And then we move this. And then we go set allowed packs. And then we go startup and we hit search. PD will definitely take a hit in startup. Just about anything that's running, like, I think what I'm trying to prove right now, and this takes a while to load because it's a lot of decks, but like almost, I think 80% of the decks unscientifically in startup that aren't like asset spam decks, straight asset spam decks, are running either Anoetic or Managarm. That are corp decks. I should have, how do you cider faction corp? So I think like if we search Managarm, like the amount of pages is not going to decrease by a lot. Hey Andre, hey Paul, I didn't catch the Worldbreaker stream, but I'll check it out later. Yeah, we did a Worldbreaker stream. Pat and I did a stream just this Sunday to play some draft. I watched it back and like the quality of the stream, like it's still totally viewable, but like it's really jittery. And I looked into it and I was just apparently overloading my CPU. So I changed my encoding on OBS. So I should be doing now like more GPU intensive coding. So that should help in the near future. Also like huge apologies because we were in a really weird spot where we said that we would do a stream to do draft in that game mode. And we were told that we could use Tabletopia. And then at the last minute, we figured out that wasn't possible. So the only way to do a stream is with like Tabletop Simulator. And I talked about this a bit on the stream and before, but like Tabletop Simulator has done some like really shitty stuff earlier this year. I don't know how how this has resolved itself, but I felt kind of like a real piece of shit a bit for doing that. So really apologies if that came off as like brazen or uncaring. I really do apologize. We got to do better than that. Noah's wife went into labor, and he said he's reached out to others to deploy the release, but he has more important priorities. Okay, having a kid, classic. No, that's actually really cool. Yo, everyone wish the best to Noah and their family. That's amazing. Whiteblade, how's it going, man? Yo, it's been a bit. That phase one startup is more of a real format than standard at the moment. I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. You really think so? Obviously, the data is driven by constructed, but outside of money being a bit undervalued and some cards might be better multiples than singleton, I think it mostly the same as the limited version would be, even more so if you play 7 points. That's interesting. This is actually a really cool data set. We should check the Trash Robusto, but I just wanted to prove this real quickly, or just look at this, right? Like, these are all the decks. It's 10 plus pages, not scientific enough. But if we now search and we do cards used and we do, can we do anti-card use? Can we do like, no, I don't think we can. But if you do Managarm Skunkworks, like, I guess more scientifically, let's just open up like some of these. Just a couple of these. And you'll see how many use Anoetic or Skunk Void. Or one of the two. Don't you mean labor rights? Wait, Pat, what did I do? I don't know what I said. Anoetic Void, 3x. Okay. Malapur Data Vault. Okay, no, this one's different. You win this one. Earth Station. Widowmaker, Managarm, Lacosta. Okay. Kayambe technically still works. I mean, like, it works. Okay, Sansen's good. Anoetic 3x. Managarm, okay. Tranquility, ganked. Oh my god, it kills ganked decks. Tranquility, Managarm, Cold Side Server. Cold Side Server still works. Like, it's every single deck. Besides this one. And the other one. But you see what I mean? Like, it's such a big deal. It really is such a big deal. And it's not only a card that, like, you should play if Anoetic and Managarm is a thing. Like, it's just a very good card. It deals with everything that you put into a remote server for so many reasons. Anoetic, 3x. Increased drop rates. I don't know what we're looking at. Maze Amusements. It's wild. It's really, really wild. Going back to Trash Robusto real quick. It's been about a week. And now we can see whether things have solidified and whether we agree with the results of the top 5 cards for each faction based off of voting off which one is better of the two presented to you. I'm not going to really do the mini factions because the data set's way too small. But if you look at Neutral Runner, Blue Moose, Employee Strike, Sure Gamble, Earthrise Hotel, Daily Cast, that seems pretty accurate. I don't think I would say Earthrise Hotel should be up there. I feel like there's a bunch of better Neutral Runner cards. Like, there's no Rebirth here. There's no even Dirty Laundry. I find that surprising that those don't come up. But Blue Moose, Employee Strike, that's pretty accurate. Is Astro pre-nerf or post-nerf? Pre-nerf. Everything here is like old school Netrunner. I don't actually know if you hit Astro what image it shows you. It definitely is up here, right? NBN. Yeah, I think it actually may be post nerf because of this 1 per deck, but I think most people are just saying it's 3. I don't know. I looked at this and I thought 3 per deck. I still think Iron Moran should be top of Crim. I think it should be behind Temujin. But yeah, maybe you could switch those two. But yeah, no, that's pretty good. So Neutral Runner, I just disagree with Earthrise Hotel. NBN, Jackson Howard, Astroskip, Hard Day News, Breaking News, Project Beal. Throughout the week, I think we've seen Controlling the Message show up there. I think maybe Bologna dipped its toe in, but I don't think it should be up here. I feel like that is pretty on point. Besides Controlling the Message, might want to be up there. I don't think Beal is that good. Anarch, Stimhack, Favorite Clip, Cipher, Yogg, Keyhole. Yeah, we saw Parasite up there for a while. I don't think there's anything that smacks of being totally missing. Diesel being the best shaper card is just like buck wild. Like, I don't get that at all. There's no way. I would say there's no way. I mean, maybe there's just so many bad shaper cards that it's like really easy for Diesel to look good compared to something. But it's Diesel, Ngolo, indexing, self-modifying code, clone chipped. And we saw other things up there, like Beth Kilrain Chang was up there. Even Peace in Our Time is better than Earthrise Hotel, I think. Interesting, Same Old Thing is on there. Honey Tea, that's actually a good point. How's it going? I feel like Same Old Thing might be also like, because you have to understand, everyone who's voting on this is like people who played Netrunner in the past, people who played Netrunner modernly. So there's probably a lot of players who haven't played Same Old Thing. And Same Old Thing isn't like amazing when you look at it. It's actually quite bad. And Same Old Thing is only good with other like ridiculous events. Like, you know, it's not even Count Siphon's not even up here on the top 5 criminal cards. So, you know, maybe a lot of people don't value it that highly. I hope they make Trash Robusto for the startup format. Yeah, it's probably pretty easy. I know that Yusengren said like he's done with this, and I don't think he's going to be updating this anymore. So it's just going to be running for a bit. So I don't know how many changes they're going to be. The fact that you can click on cards and it opens the cards is really cool. How did Earthrise beat out Same Old Thing? I don't know. How's it going? I think there's other cards that should be above Earthrise or Same Old Thing. I don't know if Same Old Thing is too wild. Like DreamNet, maybe. But I still think like Rebirth is immense. Dirty Laundry is a heck of a card. Deuce is wild. Like, I can think of a bunch of cards I would be more excited to put up there. We looked at it a bit with Yasanga and Thanos, how's it going? And there just hasn't been enough matches for things to settle out. Yeah, that's what I would assume the longer this runs, the more it'll get towards our hive mind. No count siphon. Yo, Cactus, how's it going? Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. Shaper Strange, Jinteki, Obokata, PU, Miti Mukundo, that was missing for a long time, and I'm glad it's been like consistently sneaking up. Anoetic Caprice, I honestly think Caprice should be higher than Anoetic. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's pretty good. I don't feel like I disagree with that. Rashida, Hedge Fund, GFI, SSL Museum of History. There's a lot of like good Neutral Corp stuff. The fact that NGO isn't up here, but Rashida is up here is pretty interesting. But I think Rashida is just a card that more decks can play than NGO. But what would be missing off Neutral Corp? Enigma is sometimes my guess of a top 5 Corp card. But I just don't think it wins power rankings that much. What else do we have? Like IPO. The Neutral Agenda Suite, like Sandbox used to be up there. I think Sandbox will show up more often than Off-World Office for sure. NAPD contract, oh, that's a huge one. Yeah, Burden, for sure. Jailbreak is pretty good. Jailbreak is pretty good. I just don't think Jailbreak is top 5 cards, because a lot of people actually don't even play or like Jailbreak as much as myself or some other people. Power Guy, how's it going? That card was almost in every single list that won Worlds across the history of the game. Enigma, right? You're talking about Enigma? Or no, you're talking about Siphon, because it's both true. Enigma is actually one of the cards that's in the most Worlds winning deck lists of all time. Maybe that number has changed. Criminal Temujin Aaron, I agree. Amakua, I think that's too high. Crowdfunding is a better card. I think Count Siphon and not being up here is absolutely wild. And then HP is like really strange. Like HP is super strange. Friends in High Places, no one argues about that. Violet level clearance, ultraviolet level clearance, all those clearances, yeah, they could go somewhere up there for sure. But Vitruvius being the top 3 HP card? What? Like Luminal, sure, good. Vacheron, yeah. It's just a 3-2. It's sometimes a 4-2. It's good. This can't be the best HB card. Like Engineering the Future seems better than this. I don't know. Yeah, Ban Vitruvius is like the old joke that I'm still not sure if people are being honest about. Sanger was considering tightening up the battle range, and it got eerily hard to choose. Card would be put up against something close in rank. Not sure what he ended up on. Yeah, I don't know if he's made changes to this. I thought he wasn't going to. But yeah, Netrunner players love 3-2s. Like it's this, like Beal. Yeah, cool. I guess. Like Psychographics, Closed Accounts, C-Source, like they're all, I don't know. NBN cards are good. If Vitruvius over ABT, that's also like pretty wild. But I think Vitruvius, like more people have played with Vitruvius than a lot of people who haven't played Accelerated Beta Test and maybe look at it and before like the times of Jackson Howard or maybe Spin Doctor, who's not on the top 5, which is funny because I think Spin Doctor actually might be a better card than Jackson Howard some of the time, if not on average. This is wild. Clone Suffrage Movement? Yeah, Clone Suffrage Movement. Sensei's Actors Union is not in the top 5. Yellow cards like Beal better than Sensei's Actor Union? Like what? Rockman asks, what's the input for these ranks? So basically how it works, if you go to trasherbusto.herokuapp.com, I'll put this links in the YouTube description. It shows you 2 cards. They're either wildly matched or generally within faction, and you pick which one's better. So I'm going to say GFI is a better card than Uncell. And then based off of that, it just gives them an ELO on like what they're winning and then how often they're winning against harder matchups. And you can see the whole rankings here. Sensei's actually been battling for 5th place for a couple days. Oh, really? I never saw it up there. HB kind of divides into the super efficient ETF subtype of cards as super linear combo bullshit. Yeah, I know. And like Cerebral Imaging isn't up there. I hear you. It's like all the HB cards are like just really efficient, good cards. They're not flashy. Parallel, how's it going? Evening. I think I missed a couple hellos. Excuse me. I missed one or two. I hope everyone's doing well. Rockman says, ooh, yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. And you can see the worst bottom 5 cards, which I don't think is very significant besides the fact that Khan isn't here. But I guess there are worse criminal cards, right? There's like cards here that I think aren't the worst. What do you think is the best card that's down here? Donut to Gains is not the worst card. You can build a Donut to Gains card. I'm not looking at the subfactions. They don't make a lot of sense. Herald's not the worst NBN card. I refuse to believe that. Like Drone Screen exists. Ramajin being bottom and followed by Plague. Nailed it. Record Reconstructor can't be the worst. There's so many bad Shaper cards. Looking at you, Reshape. Jinteki has Metamorph, Sunset, Sensates. Yeah, okay, good. And that was like most of these are from the same period of time, give or take. Dedicated Technician Team actually. Oh, wait, is this the one for installing cards? Yeah, okay, never mind. I thought it was the one from Creation and Control, which actually did see play. Otherwise, things look pretty okay. Global Sec being the worst Sunny card makes no sense. That's not a bad card. O2 Shortage hitting the bottom. That's, I feel like for a lot of people, some sort of sick catharsis. I had to explain to my partner the O2 Shortage thing. I'm not going to go into it too much, but it's an interesting thing. All that terrible Wayland Dice. Oh man. So I was showing this to my partner who like doesn't know all the cards. And she was like pretty accurate. And again, I think the only ones that she was really missing on are ones that needed like meta explanation. Like, why is Power Tap a good card? And it turns out Power Tap's a really good card, right? But like, it didn't used to be. And then I had to read Salvage, and I straight up, like, you know how on the internet, a lot of times you read or see something and you don't actually laugh out loud. If you're alone, you just go like, you know, you breathe out. This one, I laughed out loud. I literally laughed out loud because I forgot what the text of this was. I like the sentence that made me laugh out loud was "can only be advanced all res." I totally forgot that was a thing back in the day. Jesus, what are they thinking? Woodcutter is actually the better one. Like, this one's one of the worst of these ice. Like, do you know how unimaginably bad this card is? Firstly, back in the day we had Yogg 0.0, so all sub 3 cost code gates were nonsense. They're all just bad. Sub 3 strength, Yogg gets it for free. So then you have to pay 2 credits. You install this to res it to do nothing, and then you have to advance it. And then even every single advancement on it, there's still a trace. So they don't even need a breaker. And like, it's, I totally forgot how creatively terrible these were. And I would love to know, and I'm not like berating anyone, but I'd love to know in testing, like, what pushed this? Like, why was this important? Was this so that, like, there must have been a reason that this happened, because it's so incredible. That being said, like, some of these did see play. Woodcutter was, like, you know, the better one of some really bad ones, but like Tyrant actually was in tier 2 decks, specifically Shipment from Tenon, not Shipment from Tenon, Tenon Institute decks. Spend 2 credits to red 0 strength, no sub ice. Yeah, I know. And then get excited to advance it to get a trace too. Enjoy your 1-link Kate Andromeda matchup. Fucking hell. Even if you win the trace, they can just go tag me. Yeah, I know. It's nonsense on top of nonsense. And I think Burke Bugs is a much better card than that. I hate the advance all res clause on most of the cards. Yeah, none of them are good. Besides, this one is okay. Surely at least once a spoon got stuffed by a salvage. I don't even know if it's happened. It had to be balanced around Amazon Industrial. You know what? I've actually never thought about that, but you're right. And Amazon Industrial does pre-res your stuff. So like, value, you res it for free. How's it going, Phil? Yeah, anyways, I straight up laughed out loud, which I was surprised with. Donut to Gains is fine. It's like, you can build a deck. We've seen this in other formats where people played Donut to Gains in Ocarina and just didn't play events. Like, there's maybe now, but back then it was like, you can play Rozeki and you don't need any economy cards. Well, Herald's not that bad. Herald's fine. It's not the worst NBN card. Are you kidding me? Throne Screen. This arguably is one of the worst NBN cards. And even then, like, I feel like you could do worse than this. 1 credit, 4 strength. If the runner is tagged, drone screen gains when the run initiates around the server. So you have to pre-res it before they make a run. It's not like when they breach. It's not when they run successful. It's when they initiate a run. And there's no window to react to that. If they run this, you have to be like, whoa, wait, I'm going to res these. And then it's a trace 3, not a very powerful effect, to do a single meat damage. Okay, anyways, it's easy to be critical of what is obviously bad. But I'm a big fan. I've spent way too much time on this website. I probably should be more reasonable with my time. Okay. Angel Arena? Angel Arena, like, how's it going, Ran? Like, you can imagine why Angel Arena could do something. There wasn't enough in the game that played off the top of the deck, unfortunately. Like, I think the best we had was a Windfall, and Windfall shuffles before. But, like, if there was more cards that played off the top of the deck, it would be okay. It would be fine. Like, if there's a deck also that had infinite economy, which I think we can all agree would be a problem, it allows you to draw any card in your deck. Like, Angel Arena has some use cases. They're clumsy. Let me show you Angel Arena. I don't think it's obviously so expensive, but like, you can imagine why Angel Arena could possibly be playable. There is no world when drone screen is good. No world. You cannot invent a situation. But like, if there was enough cards that were like Windfall, but obviously don't shuffle your deck, like, you could maybe play it. It's like, you could consider defending this. I played a Windfall Angel Arena deck back in the day. I never won a single game. Well, Angel Arena doesn't, you shuffle before. Like, it's Windfall doesn't work the way you think it was. But you can prevent them. You can't prevent the meat damage. Tag cannot be prevented. Controlling the message. How's it going, Greg? Okay. Deck of the week. We got a Saraswati deck, which is not something we do very often around here. And we're playing Jumon, so I'm pretty excited. We're going to do this. We're going to play this. We're going to do the news. We're going to be talking about the new cards. And then for the rest of the stream, we're going to be trying to play with the new cards. So we're going to be building a built to last fast events deck with Vladisibirsk and Azef protocol that has a kill potential that we can fast advance Azef out into Neurospike to do 4 damage. I'm pretty excited about the list. How hard is it going to be to play the cards online? Pretty clumsy because they're not implemented currently on Jinteki. From what I understand, they exist, but they just have to be pushed up. So they're not on the live server right now. But we'll just what's it called? Proxy them. It'll be fun. I used to get drafted Angel Arena and Jumpstart all the time. So annoying. How do they fix in Jumpstart? What do they do to Angel Arena to make it good? Reverse accounts proxy. Ashley Thanos. That's a good idea. That's actually quite a good idea. That's a NBN. It's advanceable. It costs the same to trash though. What is Vladisibirsk to trash? Is it 4 or is it 3? It's probably 3, right? That can't be right. 2 to res. Vladisibirsk. Oh, 4 to res. Okay. I want something that's 4 to trash, and we'll just manually advance it. Because the trash cost is more important for the runner to interact with it than it is actually the ability to be advanced. I don't know if there's anything. Yeah, 4 to trash is annoying. So it's 3, 4. Okay, good. Okay, we haven't internalized these numbers yet. This is Runaway's Nightmare Saraswait deck. It's Saraswait Mmemonics, the Rain and Reverie Jinteki identity. It allows you for a click and a credit to install a card and place an advancement on it. So that's called click compression. It's generally good. And while this isn't obviously an economic ability, it technically is. Because if you want to install advance anyways, this lets you do it, but save a click. And you could spend that click clicking for a credit or doing something better. So as long as you're doing this every turn, it's kind of comparable to like engineering the future, or that's a bit of a stretch. But you know what I mean here. Now, on top of it, it allows you to put a lot of advancements on a card sooner than any ID could. You could get 3 advancements on a card without any tricks before the runner can run and hit it. There is a huge clause here. You can't score or res cards until the beginning of the next turn, which is always the issue. Is like people play NGO fronts in their Saraswati decks, and I don't understand it fully, because if you Saraswati an NGO front and they run it, you can't res the NGO front. So I'm not sure what the use case of the NGO front is. If you just install advance it normally, isn't that like such a big tell that it's an NGO front? And maybe I guess you could use that for your mind games. Not if you do it for all the advancements. Sorry. I choose an advanceable proxy for hidden information reasons. Packing manual advancements would give away the grid. Oh, you're totally right. Yeah, Xrun, that's actually a really good point. You're totally right. If we're manually advancing it, it means it's more likely to be an upgrade. Yeah, I think you're right. Unless, yeah, we do it for everything, which would be clumsy because we want to do in build to last, and then you have to like worry about credits too. Anywho, idea with Saraswati, there's a cool write-up here talking about the strategy tips. A lot of this, let's see the 7 credit Nazi, although you should probably just stay well above 7 credits. A lot of this is a trap-based deck. The idea is that we're putting cards on the table with a bunch of advancements on it, and we're asking the runner which of these are our agendas, and Jumon, mind you, a 6-2 agenda. But if we get the scored, that is an immense ability. Even if this is just making traps more lethal, which is a really big deal, this is 2 advancements per turn. It's when your turn ends, so like you have to kind of risk something here, but that's 2 clicks and 2 credits. That's a lot of value if you can score out a Jumon there. And we have a lot of traps. Sure, we have some agendas, but we have cerebral overriders. If these hits a problem. A clearinghouse, one of the traps where if they don't run it, it's a problem. Continued with Ronin. If they don't run the right pieces at a certain point in time, it could be an issue. We have snares on centrals. I like this a lot just because if they hit the snare at the wrong time during a run or during the end of their turn, they could die to a Ronin clearinghouse combo. We have Urticas as well because we need more traps on the table. Then everything else is 3 seamless launches. And I'm not entirely sure why this is exactly necessary in the list. I guess it does make you have some more teeth on Ronins on the table. I think they talked about in the write-up that you can install advance Jumon. The idea is that you just hit Saraswati and you don't continue to advance it, which I think is a bit of an interesting play, right? Because the idea with Saraswati and the mnemonics, or the idea with like advanceable traps, is that they get scarier the more advancements you put on something. So if I install Advanced Cerebral Overrider and I install Advanced Cerebral Overrider, as long as we can afford it, that's a huge difference, right? Like the idea is the Urtical do 3 or 4 damage. I don't know. I feel like a lot of times if I want to play traps, I want to really advance them. So that's actually like scary as opposed to, oh, it's just 3 damage. So the idea is that you could install Advanced Jumon, and then if you have 2 Seamless in your hand, you could do Seamless Advance and score it out. So that's always an option. But I'm not entirely sure. I feel like I would like to more install advanced things on the table. Do you want to be impossible to score otherwise? Oh, you're right. It is a 6-2, so you can't even do install advance. You have to do your whole turn with Saraswati, right? Yeah, never mind. You have to. Yeah, you have to. I forgot about that. I thought you could still do install advanced man. So for Saraswati, if you don't have seamless, you have to commit to the Jumon. And the cool thing though is if they hit HQ and they see they have seamless launches in hand, they're like a bit more terrified. You can't really seamless launch a clearinghouse in any meaningful way. Well, like not that you can seamless and then kill them with it, but like, okay, I get it. I get it. I've thought about it for a second. I transferred my toxic PE deck inspired by your Odoroshi deck in Saraswati, and it's fine. Missed the extra damage from PE though. The whole PE conversation gets really interesting because Nisei said they might bring it back, but I don't know if they talked about it. I have a Jumon Seamless Lacosta deck, and it's a bit like this. Focus on scoring the Jumon. Yeah, I'd love to. Otherwise, the ice is pretty good. We have Kakugo, Aiki, which is an interesting card because it's really undercosted for potentially threatening 2 net damage on a 3 cost or a 3 strength ice. The issue is that there's a chance that the runner draws mid-run, which is like one of the worst things you could do if you want to threaten out Ronin, Clearinghouse, Snare, all that sort of stuff. So it's an interesting ice. Enigma, single macrophage we have Cyberdeck Sandbox support, with the Cyberdeck Virus Suite as well. And it's worth knowing that Saraswati allows you to install advanced traps or cards, that can't normally be advanced. So you actually can Saraswati down a Cyberdeck Virus Suite or a Snare if you think that will increase the odds of them running into it. We also have 2 white space, which is cute. I'm not sure how excited we are for this. The credit differential doesn't really matter in this matchup, but it's a cheap ice. It's nice. And then we have 3 Anansis, which is huge. 2 Odoroshis, which are really fun. Putting more advancements on traps and kind of forcing the issue here. 2 for 5 is ridiculous for a sentry, but there's a chance that this does nothing on some certain table spaces. Then we have a single Mlinzy, which again, I don't like cards that give your opponent a decision on what to do. The 2 decisions are, one's usually not as bad as the other. Sometimes this actually just helps the runner if they're like an Anarch and they're digging for breakers. But yeah, it's a card. Let's import this. Big fan of trap decks like this. Curious to see how it plays. Yo, PMK, another thing about trap decks is like, I think I'd be much more excited to play this in person when you're playing on JNet, where it's a bit harder to get a read on your opponent and it's a bit less, intimidating, where casual games on JNet, some people just, run everything, throw, stuff like that. It's a bit different when you're in person. So your mileage may vary, but it's one of the kinds of decks that's very obvious, the distinction between playing online and playing in person. So I don't know how to spell Saraswati. Is it as simple as that? Looks like it is. Nice. Cool. We have 2 Spin Doctors. We have a preemptive action, which is just recursion. We don't have a shipment from Tenon, which is interesting. I wonder how often people are going to run, because shipment from Tenon is like seamless launch adjacent. Not that we have 3 2s or 3 1s to score at. My list has Daruma, which is not great, but lots of fun to bluff with. Daruma is like doubling down on the sort of like less fun to play in person, play online. I don't love Daruma. It's generally very expensive, and you usually just ends the run somewhat, but in a clumsy way. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this. This card gets better if they've actually invested a lot in the run, and I'm not sure how defensive our remote servers are going to get. I think we do have a good ice. I just don't know if we have the economy to support like resing 2 Anansis. We're a corp. People play run and gun against trap decks on JNet. They really do. And kind of myself included. We've seen a lot of games on this channel where like we end with like 2 cards installed because all we're doing is like, I guess I'm running R&D this turn. Light the Fire could shake up the upside of big traps. Yeah, Thanos, it's like kind of nuanced. And we're going to be talking about Light the Fire right after we play the Decklist of the Week. But like that card does so much against so many matchups. Like the idea is that with Light the Fire, you run a remote server and you trash all cards in the remote server. You don't have to access anything. So you trash Obacadas, you trash anything that's advanced. Like you trash June bugs or Urtica ciphers without having to hit them. You trash snares. Like you trash Hokusai grids. You trash like anything without it touching you. But you do take a brain damage. So it is a bit of a trade-off, and you need to consider it in those sort of matchups. And I'm wondering how it plays out. Now, the cool thing about those cards is in the late game where you only have like 2 hand sides, like you can still use it so they can never score an Obakata protocol, which is like a really not fun way to make the game go to time. I think I'll need about 12 copies of Light the Fire in my various decks. I don't understand. Do people not think this is the most powerful card? Like I've heard people saying, oh, it's nice to get tech 1 or 2, but like I'm thinking 3. 3 seems really good. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Border control. Yeah, border control got better, and that's like not something I'm excited about. It's like one of the few ways to deal with it is, a card that was ever popular, and now there's a good reason for it to be ever more popular. Okay, our opening hand has no economy right now. I'm just gonna move this over so we can easily get to it by hitting Control 1. We have an ice for HQ, which is good. Zaya might just go ahead and do something like a jailbreak on R&D. We can't really stop that here. We have the Ronin, the Seamless, and the Jumon. I feel like we have enough ice in this deck. We have 16 ice that we could actually mulligan. We want to open with a Celebrity Gift or a Hedge Fund. But again, the economy in this deck is very, very low. It's 2 Celebrity Gifts, 3 Hedge Funds, and 3 NGO Fronts. And I think that's entirely it, unless you can score a Sandbox. So not feeling the greatest. We could definitely keep this, but I think we're going to push our luck a wee bit. I feel like we might have got punished there. We do have money, but we just really need a top deck like an Enigma or something for HQ. That's not it. We'll save commentary for when we get to the discussion section, but I think it looks insanely powerful and under influence costs. I agree. At least it's interesting and like it's like, you know, it's not film critic. It's a bit more explosive, but I agree with you. Good afternoon, Andre. Glad to catch a stream. Missed the last few. Elden Ring is my soul. What's the game plan today? We're playing the deck list of the week. We're going to talk about the new cards, and then we're going to test out some stuff. Specifically, we're going to test out Azef and Vladisibirsk. Okay, we want to generally ice up HQ. A Nancy on HQ. We could Celebrity Gift our whole hand and just put a Nancy on HQ. It's probably good enough. I don't love Celebrity Gift. This sort of information just seems way more valuable. Like some runners actually would consider face checking this immediately, just so that our economy is entirely destabilized, as long as their hand isn't like particularly good, because criminals don't have that much recursion. Hey, will this deck be tired with Anemone later? Hey, Dajin, I don't think we have time to try Anemone today. Like, oh, are they gonna border control that? They actually take the 3 damage. That's cool. Yes, excuse me. But I think if I want to try an enemy, I'll play more of a prison deck, which is, you know, not a good way to make friends. But I think that's where I'd see that card very obviously. It's just prison Jinteki decks. But today we're going to do Vladisibirsk and Azef. It's hard to do everything. So it's going to take us a while to get through all the cards. So Boomerang only breaks 2 subroutines. So if they run through this, one of these subroutines fires. We are going to do some damage. They're going to access a card credit. I don't know. They don't have a click left, so it's not like they're going to threaten an emergency shutdown here, which would be a nightmare. But we could always just hit it with the net damage. I'm really surprised that they're boomeranging this. We talked about them just face tanking it. Maybe this is like comparable to it. But all right, which ones are they breaking? They also know that nothing in their hand is like that good. They could trash everything, which is good. I think they want to hit the NGO front, especially after this. So which one do we get? Draw a card? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, good. If we drew an agenda there, we feel stupid. Seems weird not to have viral weaponization in this deck. Jumon seems hard to score. I think the deck, like, by design, wants to score Jumon. Like, if you can score Jumon, like, you're playing Saraswati to score Jumon is the way I see it. They drew a card, which means they could have actually lost something to damage there if they drew a breaker. They have a Mayfly, which is a bit surprising, considering they have access to a Boomerang and other AI breakers. They hit the run from HQ. They can trash that. They gain the credit after the run. So they're going down to 1 credit after. And Boomerang gets shuffled back. That was an immensely costly run for them. Now, we have the I-Key on R&D. We might just be okay putting this on R&D just so that we can stop them from getting value off of R&D with their Zaya ability. And then next turn, we'll set up the Enigma on the remote server. And next turn, we can install advance the NGO front. And I don't think we use the Saraswati ability just because it makes the, I'll credit here, new remote. We want to make sure that we can throw into Resist if we need to, just so that we don't get hosed by, I guess Bank Job isn't a thing anymore, is it? New cards are not in J now, Wayne. How's it going? They're not, unfortunately. They should be soon. Hey, Wendigon, happy Wednesday. Oh, wait, Thursday. Happy Thursday. Now, they know we have an NGO front, so if they played right now the Exposed card, and right now this is looking like a System Gateway deck, but if they played the Exposed card, Falsified Credentials, I'm just going to go ahead and I didn't mean to do it there, but I was going to go ahead and just res this here, because they know it's the only card in your hand besides an Urtica. I'm lost. It's all good. This might not be entirely right, but like if they get a 5 credit jump here off of a Falsified, it's a really big deal for us, more than this information. Okay, they're gambled. And again, like their next 2 turns after face checking this Anansi were kind of lost. And I still do not want to Saraswati this. I feel like we just want to get another ice and an agenda here. So I'm going to draw once. That actually might be worth setting up. Can't find my ice. Huh. I wonder how many they have. They did lose their mutual favor. So that's the easy way for them to find things. Are we going to jam something in here? I think we can consider install advancing this. If they run, we hit them with Enigma, which is an amazing. Okay. This deck also doesn't have Rashida, right? No, so like our card draw's really limited. We actually have no built-in card draw besides like, I guess if you consider Anansi. Runner put ice in their deck. Yeah, I'm assuming they mean Icebreakers. But they did lose their AI, which would have been very expensive. It would be okay against the Enigma. And they lost the mutual favor, so they're gonna have to click to draw for a bit. Yeah, no Rashida, Scrub. Oh, there. That's good. That's really good for them. They're not gonna get the filter draw off this because they've already drawn this turn. But like we are in a pretty good spot. We'd want a second ice here just so we. Well, that's okay. So that's no longer a startup deck, but like they're playing Tag Me. What? That's a surprise. Doesn't Saraswait let you IAA? It does, but if they run it, which they could have done, Boomerang Inside Job, we lose the NGO front. So the ability of Saraswati on top of NGO front is a bit silly. That's the way I see it, because we're not allowed to res it that turn if they run it. So like I don't want it, like the bluff or the credit you save off the NGO front stall is not worth losing your investment. All right, we have a Jumon. Odoroshi really doesn't do too much in this remote server. It looks scarier than it is. But Obelisk and counter surveillance deck, Fascio, yeah, they might actually be a counter surveillance deck, like a Tag Me deck, which means they're going to hot Pursuit HQ. They're going to play Rogue Tradings, which they're going to have to manually clear the tag here, which is fine because it's 3 credits for 4. I mean, 3 clicks for 4 credits, which is not particularly good. I know, Elwin, yeah, I know. They got this down. But this is what they lost in their opening hand. Like, they lost the tools. I wonder if this is for God of War, too. Like, they're running God of War Mayfly. Yeah, so they cleared the tag, so they're not getting power off Obelisk, but that was, again, 3 clicks for 4 credits. It's not particularly good, and we want to keep our money up, so Citadel Sanctuary is scary. They'll float him. If they float him, we'll bring down the Rogue Shredding and the Class Act. Like, I don't think they can afford to float him here. CSI is my favorite tier deck. There's a Diversion, Credit Kiting, Hot Pursuit. Damn, they had a... Credit Kiting is pretty good. That means they're also likely on a Mina, but we'll see. I kind of want to ice up Archives. So we also don't have Anoetic. Like, do we just triple advance the Jumon? The question is, can they get through Odoroshi into Enigma? And I feel like they probably could. And we can't really res the Odoroshi. This is really awkward. They should have floated. I don't think so, because we would have trashed everything and they would have had 1 tag and then they'd lose basically their board suite. I guess we just do this, but I feel really bad about this. Like, this does not feel good. Like, can they get through Enigma? The question is, they don't know. Like, this could obviously be a Nancy into something. We might just get a Jumon. This is really good with NGO front. Maybe this is why NGO front's really in the deck. Floating is still a nice trade if the corp starts bothering with spending money and click trashing. Yeah, it is. It's like not the worst. But like, I think we're so far ahead that we could, like, we still have a hedge fund in hand. Like, committing to a triple installed Jumon, triple advanced Jumon is like not that much worse than trashing all their stuff. Dawkins pass. Okay, cool. Looks like we're going to Jumon. Do we seamless to have a click left? I don't think so. Actually, we might want to put 2 advances on a Cyberdeck's Fire Suite. No joke. Yeah, whatever. So now, when your turn ends, place 2 advancement tokens on a card in the server. So now we can kind of force the issue. And turn 2 advancements. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be an advanceable card. And this is a really important card in the matchup if they do end up jamming a God of War, or an Amakua, because those can be purged out. Jumon, I'm really happy that we got this down, because the difference between having this and not having this, like, it's as a 6 advancement agenda, I hope it's obvious. Shame that we got all the NGO's fronts down. 1 click for 8 credits is pretty good. The Occam's Pass, we're controlling HQ really well. They're taking a tag. They cleared the tag manually. They don't have their Citadel Sanctuary just yet. So again, 3 clicks for 4 credits. Spin Doctor. I think we can push it. Because if we get any agenda, we just jam in here, yeah. Unfortunately, the ice here is like quite bad. Server 1 hedge, I guess. This kind of looks like Biovault too, which is a bit annoying. But this deck is not very Glacier. It's more Trap than Glacier. He doesn't want like ways to keep you out of the server. It just wants you to not to want to run it. I'm like, well, if this goes through, we're on game point technically, and we just have to score out an Obokata, which is a bit tricky, but they could have massive hand size. They're running a Spin Doctor. Okay. I'm gonna bring back in 2 NGO fronts, I think. I feel like the Seamless is much less necessary now that we have Jumon scored. 3 clicks for 4 credits. That's what it is when you rogue trading. 2 clicks for 6, and then a click and 2 credits to clear tag. That's... Oh, I see what I've said. It's 4 credits for 3 clicks. Yeah, I know that's correct. Yeah. Yeah, after the tag removal, it's just not very efficient. It's more efficient than clicking for credits, but like not a lot more efficient. So they could actually run this if they just boomeranged the right thing and ran. The question is, what is the right thing? And again, Odoroshi. I'm a bit scared. This is where we start just like jamming Urtica ciphers and naked remote servers and see if they run them or not. The fact that they know one Ronin is out might change like their interest in running or not running. But we could... Oh, this paperclip. That's good. That means we'll get this remote server. Unless they inside job it, because then we have to res the Odoroshi and then they could just access it anyways. But paperclip's down now. I would float the tags for the hand size and then just run into everything with no fear because brain damage doesn't matter, but let you get too far ahead already. I think so, yeah. At some point, like their hand size can be massive. Oh, jailbreak. HQ? No. Ike, it's annoying because of the card draw, but like they're going to draw off of this anyways. They're doing this last click, which is like really a bit ugly sometimes because if they hit a snare and then we could kill them like in theory with a Ronin, we could kill them in theory with a the Wayland one. Which is stronger, the Catalyst, Convention, Breaker, Infiltration? Infiltration by a mile. But yeah, it's weird when that comes up. I'm gonna pay 1 because I think they will too. Oh, they paid 0. Shit. They lost a Rogue Trading and a Bravado. I feel like those are good hits. Spending 4 clicks for 12 credits and plus 2 hand size seems better than clearing. Yeah, I think on one turn they should just got 12 off the Rogue Trading and just left it and floated 2 tags. Because once this is gone, like there's not a lot of reason why well, obviously we can't trash it. But yeah, I think you're totally right. You want to just clear this fully instead of half clearing and undoing it. Yeah, the class act trashable is like okay, but ideally if they're gone tag me, they'll be drawing off Obelisk and runs. They're accessing here. It's not a snare. It's an Obokata. So here they could die to Ronin. Oh, but they draw because of the Obelisk. Never mind. But they got the Obokata, so that's quite good. Do we seamless launch the sandbox and then just jam a Ronin? This deck makes me reconsider Lindsay. What a great card. Pricey though. I don't like Lindsay at all. Nancy is just so much better. Okay, so what can we do here? So we can make Odoroshi have teeth by just putting an Urtica cipher on the remote server. Then we can Odoroshi R&D, and then we can seamless this. I think we'll do it. This scores and purges, which now makes this technically a resable card. And then we can put this on R&D. Then we can just put this into a new remote. So now the Odoroshis actually matter. Because now it's a 3 credit break or they'll take 4 damage. I don't understand why the neutral IDs are present. They're supposed to interpret them as. Yeah, they're probably a part of the data set that shouldn't be there. But I reckon they're there just because Usengrin pulled every single card from NetRunner. At least it's not pulling. It's also pulling like the Magnum Opus IDs, I'm pretty sure. It's pulling the world's made cards. Is Obokata balanced now? Oh, that's good that we have a Cyberdex. I'm not sure what you mean. Is it balanced now? It's a very, very powerful card. It's actually right now on Trash or Busta, the most powerful Shinteki card. Anansi's the gold standard, of course, but I still respect Lindsay after getting hit by it. It can be ugly. Criminals like it the least, I think. So we're going to wait for them to like run into the Anansi, and then we're just going to like get them with the Cyberdex Fire Suite. So we can draw once. NGO Friend's nice, but we don't need the money. So we're going to draw again. Not game winning. We could try the Ronin play. 3 net damage is interesting. I feel like they're going to run HQ now. They're trying to get this up to 5. They do Archives, 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 HQ, but then we Cyberdex them. So I think we're going to set up the Ronin. Wasn't it restricted or banned? It was restricted at one point. I don't think it was ever banned. It's immensely powerful. But also back in the day, we had technically more tools to deal with it, like with Film Critic. Right now, it's very narrow. It's about to get a bit wider with Light the Fire. Imp was a very popular way of dealing with this modernly, actually. Apocalypse, I guess. All right. I think we actually just Ronin them for value at some point. But there's a chance they're going to get confident and we're going to surprise them with the double advanced cyber decks. You generally don't see it. So Light the Fire does not work on Oboe since it's a cost. Light the Fire doesn't access the agenda. It just trashes everything. So it will work. We need to end the run on R&D. Yeah, you don't access the card. But you're right. You have to pay the cost, but it just trashes everything in the server. It doesn't even access them. So not exactly. It also, yeah, blanks the text on Oboe too, which is funny. But that's only if it's... I guess, yeah, it also blanks the text on Oboe, so... But it's going to trash it. We could res this, seamless lit, hit it, install a card. Yeah, whatever. I guess we don't have to res it. Does it change anything? White space on R&D? I guess so. Like the Fire would work on CityWorks project. It does not access. Yeah, no, it destroys every single defensive agenda. It very much eats CityWorks, and it's very easily too, because it's a face-up agenda. There's like no bluffing to be done. I think we will seamless this. 3 net damage. Bravado, rogue trading. I guess we just install this. They don't have enough cards to like do a run on R&D, a Hail Mary run with the counter surveillance. This does not win us the game though. Light the Fire is a problem. It seems incredibly strong. It seems really, really, really strong. Class act drawing up. It shows 2 cards, but they're just deciding which one to put on the bottom of their stack. With 12 cards left, I imagine they've gone through everything so far. And this could be the game-winning Obokata. Sneak Door Beta. Oh, cool. So that's seeing 2 cards. So we're going to probably lose our NGO front. They're going to draw 2 cards. They hit the white space as well. And white space is actually kind of relevant. Not so much actually with Amakua, but at least we got to purge the Amakua here. Overwriter. We have to, we're going to score this out, purge for 8. And then we're just going to put this on archives just so that they can't run for free. Because it's a free, 2 cards to put advancements on? Okay. It's a free draw 2, gain an Amakua counter. We don't want that. Might as well make them pay some amount of money for it. At a minimum, 2 credits to 4 credits, depending on their economy. But I'm really hoping they forget about the Cyberdex Virus Suite. If they want to go through the Anansi, or hopefully we get another Anansi here in R&D. I feel like that's a way that we could win. The Lindsay's at this point, like, I don't know. They just trash their deck, I guess. It's probably good for us. Oh, they cleared the tag still. I'm surprised. We're going to keep that in hand for sure. The question is whether we can score this out. If we can't, we're on game point. Enigma might just be good enough. We don't have to advance this. I'm going to click for credit. I don't want to draw in it anymore because I want to control what's in our hand. If we draw another agenda there, it gets pretty awkward. But we also had Snare Obokata. We could consider keeping the Obokata in hand because HQ is actually pretty safe. We know they have boomerangs. We've seen one so far got shuffled back. So they probably have another boomerang in hand. Talk about boomerang. It really matters what they boomerang here. Shit, they boomerang the Enigma. That's going to get us. If they boomerang the other ice, we'd be okay. But they're boomerang the Enigma, which is a problem. Now, they'll be on game point. This is where you start jamming traps, right? So we'll res the Odoroshi. It's kind of annoying that we show them this because they know they can always break this for 3 credits. I'm going to put the 3 advancements on the... I think we have to put on the Urtica. Let's see what they do. Yeah, Odoroshi doesn't kill them. They can always pay. Fire, right? Yeah, they're totally fine. And if we put the 3 credits on the Obokata, do I pay 3 for it? Yeah, if I fire it. Yeah, they just haven't told me to fire this yet. Technically, there's a button on the side where you say fire all. I'm just asking, but I should fire it. There's nothing they can do about it. Yeah, there you go. So they either pay 3 or they take 9 damage. Not a great piece of ice. The 3 advances though, like where this piece of ice is really good is if they're actually scared of the card. Like maybe the right play was triple advancing the Obokata because then they actually get terrified. But now it seems like this is really the agenda. So I think we actually should have put it on the Obokata and they had to check out. I think I did this totally wrong. If we put this on the Obokata, they actually could have thought it was a trap. False flag. Let's go. So I think that's on us. And we're also going to lose the Cyber Expire Suite, which is embarrassing. But yeah, we could have put the money on the Obokata and then they might have actually checked out. Yeah, the Obokata would have been way better. I did not think that through enough. I just wanted to tax some 3 credits, but like the mind games were lost on me for a second. They're going to have no cards in hand? It's an Obokata. They found this is the second of 3 in the deck. And we're losing the Cyber Expire Suite, which is actually one of the best things we had going for us. Because we were able to immediately purge when they relied on their Armkua. If you put on the Obo, they called your bluff, the Boomerang would be alive for another run. Oh, totally. But I think it's worth it. I think that was actually worth it. How much money are you getting from the CBS Access? Yeah, we're getting 8 credits from this. And they did trash it. Wait, they didn't steal the Obokata? Wait, why didn't they steal the Obokata? We win. What? Oh, I think they thought that was a Hokusai, so they didn't steal the Obokata. They were convinced that this is a Hokusai. Whoa, what? I'm glad we didn't draw. A good game. They should have accessed in the other order. They should have accessed the unadvanced, upgrade first. They definitely should have accessed the upgrade first to see if it was a Hokusai and then decide the Obokata. They did the wrong order. Because I think they saw the Obokata and they're like, oh shit, now if it's a Hokusai, we lose the game. Yeah, I saw. I reckon you always access the upgrade first? I don't know if always is right. Solmar, how'd you score a Jumon? We just installed triple advanced it, Mind and Enigma. Hokusai doesn't make sense. Hokusai we'd have to pre-res too. Like, sorry, not Hokusai, like Prisek, right? I guess Prisek. Ganked would have been fine. Oh, actually, no, to some extent. Ganked would have been annoying too. No, it's a... I'm not even sure. I think you do. How would they know which one is the upgrade? Because we installed a new card and we scored an agenda on top of the upgrade like for the last 2 times. So that card was obviously an upgrade because it's been in the server for a couple turns. Yeah, well, good game. Do the JNet cards on top of the upgrade? JNet cards don't put cards on top of cards. The cards that go on top of cards is dependent on the order you put them in. So if you install agenda first and the upgrade on top, the upgrade will physically look like it's on top. But it highlights the card. It makes it very obvious what is a new card. Yeah, Prisek would have been deadly there. Ganked could have been annoying if you accessed it in the wrong order, because if we ganked into Enigma, we would have thrown them out of the server. So it's actually kind of interesting what order you access that. Hokusai doesn't make sense, because Hokusai we have to res. It's triggers on successful run, so that would have been fine. So I think you're playing between Prisek and Ganked. Biovault, if it was a Biovault, we would have maybe popped it. We definitely would have popped it. So I don't think you have to worry about that. It's weird. It's strange. Yeah, they're not going to necessarily. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we looked rude here. They're like, oh, I'm kind of new. It's cool. No, I'm just asking. I don't know if it's the right thing to do. It's interesting. I think you should. It's hard. Yeah, it's definitely hard. You're calling a 50-50 on whether it's a Prisek or a ganked. But this deck doesn't look exactly like this. Does not look like a ganked server. Like if I had the ganked, I'd probably put it on HQ. So I don't think you play it around as ganked. So I think you access it first. But I think that's like a pretty nuanced decision. Okay. Decklist of the week, scored a Jumon, 10 out of 10. 50-50 versus Andre on a Thursday night? Wait, what do you mean? The Thursday night. You get the Thursday night it's playing on. That's a 90-10. All right. This deck's neat. We got kind of lucky with the economy that we opened with a celebrity gift, and you saw we kind of had to mulligan into it aggressively. I feel like if we didn't get that economy, we'd be in a pretty awkward space. We didn't see our Kaku Ghosts, which would have been nice on the remote server. I feel like the Odoroshis are like the kind of trap mind game I don't love playing, but at least this deck can make them always at least 3 credits to break, which isn't a lot. Yeah, scoring Jumon always makes a night 10 out of 10. Jumon's such a good card, and back in the day we used to like media blitz just to be able to get Jumon. Man, this is a fun card. All right, let's talk about the news. We got some news. We got a lot of news. Firstly, I think almost exclusively. No, not almost exclusively, but we have the Midnight Sun booster pack. This is out. It's technically out. You can play with it, sort of. The Midnight Sun booster pack, 7 cards, 1 for each faction. If you missed it though, here's what we've shown so far. And so there's 6 cards here, and at the bottom they show you a 7th card, which is Light the Fire. It has really nice art. I believe that is Sundog, who was in the narrative story that Anzake put out a couple weeks ago. And it's an Anarch resource. It's a sabotage subtype, which has no relevant, that generally doesn't matter. Cost of credit. It's not unique. And it says, spend a click, trash this, and suffer a single brain damage. Run a remote server. During that run, a card in the root of the attacked servers. Sorry, let me try that again. Run a remote server. During that run, cards in the root of the attacked server lose all abilities. What that means is their text boxes are entirely blank. When that run is successful, trash all cards in the root of the attacked server. A single spark is all it takes. I love this art from Ollie Bolidor. I don't know too much about Sundog. There's not too much you could get from the narrative article besides that they were out in the field doing something, but they kind of give me vampire vibes. But I'm not sure. I guess Sundog is a werewolf term. Are we getting more Wilders? I don't know. Lose all abilities, so not the cost of Obo. If it's printed in the text box, it is an ability. That's all it is. It's very simple. It's not like if it has something that on it that like is a paid ability window, like it's just, it loses all text. So for instance, Vladisibirsk has this like 2 hosted advancement counters as a, a paid ability. No, it loses the you can advance this upgrade text. It loses the limit once per regions for server text. Like it loses everything. So everything blanks. This card is wild. How many people here knows the Masquerade? The Vampire Eternal? Obo has no effect, not that you can steal it. Yeah, that's the thing, is like a lot of times when it comes to agendas, having no text doesn't matter. Because the way that this card works is you get through all the ice, you make a successful run, the run is declared successful, everything in the server is destroyed. So you don't have to touch Obokata. Literally, you cannot. You're not allowed to. This is not a may ability. This is a have to ability. So if you initiate the Light the Fire run and it is a successful run, everything has been trashed. So when it comes to like the idea that Obokata, if you don't pay it, you can't steal it, it doesn't matter because the whole server is just blown up. And by the whole server, I mean everything in the server, not ice. That would be absurd. Not that the card isn't very, very strong, but like, no. So this just goes. Currently have a VTM game going on now. The art fits very well. Sundog is a replication of the sun you see in some circumstances. Actually, I didn't know that. I really like this. The counter to self-destruct the meta desperately needed. Tell me about it. Is it just maybe the orange more orangey on this card? I feel like the full arts, it's maybe, some ways it's harder to tell what faction is. In some ways it's easier. I'm glad at least it's orange. Okay. I thought perhaps I was overstating it by saying it was blanking the text, but I guess not. Yeah, blanking the text. Okay, so let's talk about this card, because this card is just so wild, like so wildly strong. I don't know if I'm the only one. I missed the trash part of the cost on this one. I just read it. Oh yeah, you have to trash it. Like you have to trash to Light the Fire. It's a one-time shot use. And there's not that many ways to recur this card. Mind you, we didn't say it's a 2 influence card. It's very easy to play this in Criminal. You could play like a bunch in Steve Cambridge and not have a hand size anymore. Would you say this is better than Because I Can? This is 300 times Because I Can. Better than Because I Can. Because I Can is like nervous of having a conversation with this card. It's also a double. It's not also a double. Technically it's also a double because it's a click to install this, but the idea is that like it's not a front-loaded double. The costs of doubles back are the fact that you have to spend 2 clicks on the same turn, and you don't have to. The fact that you can just install this, and while this is on the table, it has a large impact on how your opponent can play on its own is a big deal. There's going to be a fair few matchups where this gets installed and just the threat of it does enough. So technically it's a double, but the fact that the double doesn't have to be next to each other, like a rogue trading or like Lucky Find, is such a big deal. The only real weakness I see is that you have Stargate issue of having to get agendas from the trash afterwards. They might get spin doctored. The extra click makes it somewhat annoying. Yeah, they could get spin doctored, but there's only 3 spin doctors, and you can tell when there's a spin doctor on the table. Also not unique. Yeah, it's not unique. You can stack them. They also cost 1 credit. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. There's so many uses of this card. It is just so wildly powerful. Firstly, let's talk about Rumor Mill. This is one of the only other cards in Netrunner. I'm going to say the only other, but I'm probably wrong, that blanks text boxes. it says, oh, you know those cards you put in your deck because they're good, and a lot of times they were how you plan to win the game. This card got banned. It's currently still banned. It was banned, if I'm not mistaken, before all currents were banned, or at least it was restricted as well. And Rumor Mill had a very similar effect, but it was much easier to play and much more powerful. It says the text box of each unique non-region asset and upgrade is blank. That's a really big deal because some of the best cards in this game are unique non-region assets or upgrades. So the idea is that back in the day, just like to some extent Analytic Void is right now, Caprice Nisei was a card. And this is how a lot of decks, Jinteki Glacier decks, scored out agendas from remote servers. And you basically said, oh, you're relying on Caprice Nisei, lol, I'm going to play Rumor Mill, it's blank. But on top of that, it just blanked so much other good and interesting and powerful stuff in the game. It's like, oh, did you have Jackson Howard, which was the last Spin Doctor? They're all dead in your hand. They don't do anything. Oh, you have Rashida Yahim? It doesn't do anything. Like, this just did so much damage to everything in the game, and it was too easy to play. And when Rumor Mill came out, I was very critical about this text. The text box is blank, is not fun. It's not interesting. You don't make decisions. They just said those cards you put in your deck are literally dead cards. And that just made it a very negative experience. I know for me, I was never a big fan of currents, but like that is just such an incredibly powerful ability, right? Like there's so many ways in theory that you could mitigate the power of these certain cards. Like say, I don't know, you could double the cost of them. You could say their abilities cost an extra click. Like there's ways you could make them still worse, but blank is the worst you can do. There's nothing you can do with a blank card, right? Besides, I guess, force them still to run it. Now this does blank cards, and it blanks more things than Rumor Mill. It blanks technically way more things than Rumor Mill, but it is a bit more nuanced how you use it. They changed Amalia, but no Easter egg. So hold on. Why would you replace Mad Dash? So go Mad Dash to the agenda you just trashed. Oh yeah, you can also just Mad Dash archives after, lol. Rumor Mill art is goated. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why does Rumor Mill not use the loses all abilities text, I wonder? Loses all abilities, I think, is a Nisei thing. In deck building terms, I think I'm replacing every copy of Mad Dash with Light the Fire. You want both of these. You want both of these because Mad Dash works very well with Light the Fire if you're specifically Light the Firing agendas. Yeah. Employee Strike, oh yeah, Employee Strike also blanks. And that's another one that like is just very frustrating. It was just the most frustrating thing ever. Oh, you built a cool identity-based deck. Like you built your Saraswati deck. Oh, sorry. No, you didn't. Did you build a Jemison deck? Did you have the gall to build a Jemison deck that's just like hot garbage without the Jemison ability? Sorry. So text box is blank. Yeah, not great. Like just this card has been banned too. Again, currents is a different conversation, but it's a very, very powerful ability. EC created Oracle text and text. Oh, Malia. What does Malia say? Does Malia say the text box? Meanwhile, I rarely played Red Coat's Glacier, so the worst thing Rumor was doing to me was blanking Jackson. It was still annoying. The text box of the resource is blank. So yeah, Malia, according to Nisei, says the chosen resource loses all printed abilities. So that seems to be more what Nisei does. I'm not sure why that matters, but I think it's pretty comparable. Found out recently about the Acoustic Kitty CIA experiments, which I guess Rumor Mill is a reference to. Never heard about that. I don't actually know. I guess no one's going to slot Paul up. I don't think anybody really... Well, there's still reasons why you want to slot Paul up, because it does things on the opponent's turn and is better like shutting down like fast advance combo decks. Like to some extent, I think you could still consider Political Operative. But the big thing is Political Operative also does rotate. Not when the set comes out, or sorry, when the booster pack comes out, but when the full set comes out. So yeah. Okay. Let's talk about what you can do with this card. The idea is you install it, you spend a click, trash it, and suffer brain damage. And firstly, if you think suffer 1 brain damage is a really scary cost, it kind of is, but it not really is. Stimhack is, again, one of the most powerful cards. I think this is the top Anarch card on Trash or Busto right now. And Stimhack was a run event, and you got 9 credits to spend on the run. You took a brain damage after the run was over. This card was a 3-of in just basically every Anarch deck for a really long time, because 9 credits is worth losing a hand size. Now, admittedly, the brain damage sometimes was more meaningful in certain matchups where you're worried about net damage or damage. Sometimes the Stimhacks were dead draws, but this card is so good, it didn't really matter. Whether you use this to install all your heat breakers for free, whether you use this to run a server for no money, whether you use it just to trash like a daily business show and to have the controlling the message traits, taking a brain damage is not that big of a deal, and I think people are quite scared of it. Funny enough, Stimhack is slightly different. You take the brain damage after. Taking the brain damage ahead of time on the run is technically more useful because you have better information. And there is a small chance that someone's going to get their paperclip trashed. The right play is light the fire, the remote server on click forward, just so that it has the chance of brain damaging your paperclip so you can install it on the run. Like, that's wild. Another problem was that Stimhack, Stimhack also, the joke was, the card that Stimhack most often trashed with its own brain damage was a second copy of Stimhack, because a lot of times they kind of stayed in your hand, and it was really annoying when your Stimhack trashed your Stimhack, because then that Stimhack paid for itself in some way, if you know what I mean. But the fact that you can put these on the table and you're not risking trashing them, you just trash whatever garbage you have in your hand is pretty big deal. Whenever Light the Fire becomes huge, complete image decks get better. Tokes, I think things like that have to be considered, because that's what I'm saying here is the brain damage largely doesn't matter unless the meta can make it matter. And Stimhack was around for so long, and there's so many decks where the hand size, that didn't matter at all. You would gladly do that into every HB deck, every NBN deck, every Wayland deck. Against the Jinteki ones, you'd consider it. Against Wayland, it doesn't really matter till you start taking 3 brain damage, because then you die a single punitive. But if you still, with 3 hand size and your hands are full, you still die to double punitive anyway. So, you know, it doesn't matter that much. When 2 brain damage isn't even that bad. 1 isn't too bad. Hell, if you win the game, it doesn't matter what max hand size. So yeah, it doesn't. It lowers your options, but again, it's not that big of a deal. The first brain damage is almost irrelevant. Exactly. I do like that's a resource and not a double event, because it allows a paid window for the corp. Exactly. You can install it and the corp can do something. So it's important to know this card goofs with anything that goes into a remote server. And that's 3 things: assets, agendas, and upgrades. Let's talk about agendas first. Agendas that have any sort of defensive text, they just get trashed. They get sent to archives if you make a successful run. So if you know there's an Obokata in the remote server, and admittedly sometimes taking a brain damage in an Obokata matchup can be difficult, because then if you take too many, you're largely relegating yourself to being able to trash every Obokata and not steal them, which is, you know, technically a win condition. But you don't have to take the damage. You take a brain damage, this is gone. And that's really important if they're playing a punitive deck, if they're playing a Neurospike deck, if they're playing Mwanza City Grid type decks. I guess you can't Mwanza because you can't run central servers, but that's wild. And then there's better things like City Works Project. You know when this is on the table, it's installed face up, it has 6 advancements on it, you know you're going to get Neurospikes, just get rid of it. You didn't steal it, you're not going to get punitived. On top of that, like, Vacheron is such a strong agenda. We're talking specifically about startup where it's not banned, but Vacheron, sorry, get in the bin. Like, it just goofs with every agenda. You don't steal them, they go into archives. So again, if they have like a spin doctor on the table, you want to generally pressure that first if you can, but then you can run archives, and we still have Mad Dash right now. So like, just get it trashed and Mad Dash it from safety. Vacheron doesn't trigger from archives. On top of that, let's go to assets. And it's worth knowing, if you install this for 1 credit at some point, maybe for free with Paladin Puemo, and then you spend a brain damage to run a remote server and just trash like a Santan City Grid, like something with an incredible expensive trash cost, that's fine. Oh, Bologna is another good one. You're right. You still have to pay the Bologna in archives, but it still gets the Bologna off the table, right? So there's no like score. Oh, they don't have money. Have a scoring window for the Bologna. No, you don't. It's trashed. But like, even in like its most vanilla state, if you're running a Santan City Grid, you have to do this first because you have to do a click to initiate run, but you can take a brain damage to trash the Santan City Grid for free. That's worth it. That's fine. People have Stimhack Santan City Grids. It's not a bad play. It's a bit better against controlling the message, where you have extra Stimhack credits to pay for the controlling the message trace. But a lot of times the right play is like Stimhack Santan, Stimhack a daily business show even, right? Like, the worst case scenario of this card is that you paid 1 and a brain damage to trash something that's probably, hopefully, quite expensive for free. It also means that you don't need to know how many credits you need when you get into the remote server. You just trash everything, right? So its worst case scenario is really quite good still, right? Like, are you excited to dirty laundry a remote server to trash the Santan City Grid? This is like very comparable. It's a run and savings of 4 credits. Brain damage not included. Technically very included. Click credit brain doesn't seem not worth Santan to me. Like, I do it, but it doesn't seem like value. It's technically value, but the thing is, like, you don't want to do that all in a turn. The idea is that at some point you have these in your hand and you click install them. And at that point, like, you've already paid the cost. So maybe 4 or 5 turns from now, you can just be like, oh, do I want to trash the Santan now and spend 5 credits out of my pocket so I'm like weak to hard-hitting news? Or do I just want to trash it for free in a brain damage? That's good value. That's really quite good value. Would you go as far as trashing a pad campaign? It's board state dependent. Sometimes yes. Sometimes the right thing is trashing a pad campaign for free and not like getting into hard-hitting news territory, right? Like, that's good. Its bad case is good. Its worst case is good. Now, the best case, I think, a lot of times is upgrades, because this blanks all things. Oh, actually, we're not done with assets. Yeah, let's talk about NGO front for a second. What do you do? What do you literally do? Say that your opponent installs a Light the Fire on the table and you have an NGO front. They've installed it. Now, if you want your NGO front money, you have to click res your NGO front. Now, as soon as they spend a click off of the Light the Fire to run the NGO front, you can no longer res and pop the NGO front because it loses all these abilities. So if your opponent just plays a Light the Fire on the table, it threatens every single NGO front. And I know that doesn't mean everyone's going to click to snap res their NGO front, which is a really big deal because you know you don't have to run it. Because sometimes you might want to actually bait them that they spend their Light the Fire to trash an NGO front. But like the basic idea of how this interaction works is so much different than it could be, right? Every time I like click, I install my Light the Fire, ask, do you want to do something? And a lot of opponents will be like, oh shit, res my NGO front before you start the click. Like it's so wild. And then every other NGO from that gets really awkward, or potentially a really interesting play space where you can like, you know, threaten and bait the thing out. But like, that is so wild. When you have this thing on the table, the way it interacts like things is potentially very, very powerful. I feel like there's a couple other assets like this that are really quite impactful. Things like, I guess what else does this matter? MCA austerity policy doesn't work because you've already pre-lost the click. You don't get any click back. I think we're looking to losing an NGO as the cost of baiting out. Yeah, I think you do have to look to losing an NGO front, which is pretty expensive. Maybe you do install advance in NGO so you don't lose your whole turn of advancements. Like you only lose one advancement instead of two. You have to play around it. Spin Doctor is another thing. Like if you leave a Spin Doctor on the table, like you can't, it's a risk. And sure, maybe trading a Spin Doctor for, yeah, this is a really good example. Trading a Spin Doctor for Light the Fire might be correct. But if you have a Spin Doctor in like server 8, in your, you know, NEH horizontal deck, and then someone installs a Light the Fire, you might have to be like, wait, I'm going to res my Spin Doctor. I'm going to pop it. Because as soon as they spend a click to run the unres Spin Doctor, not only can you not res it to gain 2 credits or 2 cards, you also can't trash it to recycle things. So just it existing on the table threatens all of these like mid-run do a thing, right? Like advanced assembly lines, I guess to some extent, but like less so because a lot of times people pre-pop that anyways and it doesn't work during a run. But you know what I mean? Like this is so wildly powerful. You have some recursion. One NGO in the bin is not losing you the game, but a LTF on the table at the worst time is game losing. Yeah, exactly. I think you would have to bait it out to some extent, but like it's annoying. Like not only do you not get the money, sometimes you waste a whole turn on it. Like it's annoying. And NGO is a very popular card. Now the strongest case by a mile is upgrades. Defensive upgrades, I think, are the biggest deal here. Like obviously Urtica Cypher, not Urtica Cypher. Actually, no, but that is a really big thing too. Urtica Cypher, like trap decks. Again, it's a very interesting conversation, but you can run an Urtica Cypher. You can run any advanced card in Jinteki and just be like, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a cerebral overrider that's going to do 6 brain damage. No, just trash it. I'll take a brain damage myself. Thank you. And again, that can be a difficult thing to balance in a net damage matchup. Anemone, by the way, mind you, is a new net. Like there are more cards that can do net damage during runs, so it gets a bit more interesting. But like traps, you don't care. Besides managing hand size, and it's worth knowing. I don't know what ways can you prevent brain damage in the format? Because this doesn't say you can't prevent it like Stimhack. Not that anyone really prevents brain damage. You can play plus hand size stuff too. Yeah, I know the gank thing. I'll get to that. Oh my god, they saw us coming. But the idea is that you can deal with any trap. It doesn't matter. Get this on the table. Like imagine playing a trap deck against this. Maybe you're happy that they took a brain damage, right? Oh, only Caldera? Yeah, Caldera's not too bad, I guess. I'm not sure if you really need it, but like you could always pay 4 credits to trash a trap. That's not the worst. It's not the worst, especially if you had with Caldera trashing the brain damage trap anyways would cost you like 12. You can't prevent the brain, it's a cost. Oh, you're right. You're right. Suffer one brain, you can't prevent it. It's not, yeah, it's not an ability, it's the actual cost. Yeah, you're totally right, Xren. Heartbeat is all I know of. Yeah, that's wild. Okay, so no, you have to. Yeah, suffer is mandatory. The fact that it's in bold before the colon means you have to pay the cost. So if you're not paying, you're not getting the effect. So yeah, no, that tracks. Anyways, really big deal. But again, the biggest deal I think is the Anoetic Void. And again, I talked about this early. Kat, how's it going? It's going well. This new card's absurd. Absurdly powerful. The next thing by a mile is defensive upgrades don't do anything. I talked specifically about, and it's hard to find the numbers, but I would gamble that about 80% of the corp decks in startup format specifically, which these are legal cards, depend on either Anoetic Void, Managarm, or Kayambe Grid to score out agendas. And they're totally blank. Oh, I got my Anoetic Void remote with Managarm Skunkworks. I run it. Oh, I put down my thing. I run it for a credit. It's gone. It's totally gone. And like the amount of value you get off of And one single Light the Fire compared to a Managarm Skunk Void server is just ridiculous. Like, ridiculous. Like, Stimhack doesn't look good compared to it. Like, not only do you save 5 credits off the Managarm, you trash the Managarm for 3, so you've already saved 8 credits. You paid 1, so 7 credits, right? On top of that, you've destroyed their Anoetic, which is another, like, what, 1 credit, let alone obviously the end the run's really hard to interact with. Like, that is so much value. And it deals with anything, like Kayambe Grid, doesn't work. Ganked. It's a card you might have heard of if you watch this channel. Don't know what to do with this. Like, gank decks just don't work as long as runners are running this. Anything. Like, there's some niche things that work, and it's important to know, like, Biovault only works as long as the Biovault is not on the server they're running. So there are ways to deal with it, but the whales are kind of niche. The ways to deal with it are kind of niche. Like, cards like Biovault will work as long as the Biovault is not on the remote server that's being targeted, and Light the Fire can only run remote servers. On top of that, border control is such a big deal, and it's a bit of a shame that border control gets stronger and stronger. This is a card that people wanted banned a while ago because they're just so tired about playing around it, but this gets even better. Anything that ends the run that's not attached to a card in the remote server, Nisei Mark II is a really big deal. There's a couple other interesting ones, like what's it called, Reduced Service or Earth Station. Anything that makes the run more expensive to run, that actually triggers, if I'm not mistaken, before the run actually starts running, so they have to pay the cost at the same time they trigger Light the Fire, if I'm not mistaken here. Even gets around some of the lockdowns. Does it actually? Yeah, it gets around NAPD Gordon. So it gets around NAPD Gordon, but no, that's not really a popular card. But like, oh, oops. Giordano, oh yeah, Giordano doesn't work. Like, anything that cares about this, like, it's totally wild. Like, Prisek doesn't work, Hokusai doesn't work. Anything that cares about, actually no, successful run. During the run, when the run is successful, so your run is considered successful, your triggers will happen first because it's your turn. So yeah, anything that cares about a successful run doesn't trigger anyways. Oh, it doesn't matter. The cards are blank. What am I talking about? I think your strat depends on this. You run border control. Yeah, I know. So now you have to run border control, which is not something you can do at startup. I think it's important to remember meta-wise, we'll be getting 58 other cards, some of which might be good against Light the Fire. No, totally. But I think right now, it's scary. Like, right now, where we're playing until August or whatever, when the new cards come out, like, that is pretty wild, especially in startup. Like, again, so many startup decks are just ways to score in a remote server with Anoetic Managarm. And maybe it's good as getting mixed up, but like, I don't know what happens from the people who brought you Whistleblower. Yeah, it's a bit better than that. Do persistent abilities still work? No. And the easiest way to tell is a text. If it's written on the card, it doesn't work. It's like that simple. I was going to search persistent, but like Amaze Amusements doesn't work. It doesn't work. No text. No text. It's blank. It's just a yellow box with the NBN watermark behind it. Nothing. It's buck wild. It is such a powerful card. And again, I think the worst case scenario is still quite good. The best case scenario is just game winning. Like, oh, your strategy doesn't work anymore. Sorry. Even the trash cost is blank. Technically, yeah. But like, the fact that you can pay a card that you spent 1 credit on and then you make a run, and you're going to like, counting this as a double sort of makes sense, but you're going to make the run anyways. You know what I mean? Like, Dirty Laundry is good because it's click compression, but if you're going to run the remote anyways, it's not exactly a double, right? Like, it's a click and you're going to run the remote anyways. You know what I mean? Maybe that's a bit flawed, but that's a way to think about it. And again, it's not like you have to install that turn. You install this on a turn and then you watch the corp try and figure out how to play around it. It's quite difficult. This card's so immense. It's so powerful. I'm kind of terrified in startup because like everyone really has to figure out how to win now. I think Fast Advance looks really strong just because it doesn't care about this. So it was asked in chat before, talk about the influence. 2 influence is not a lot. Like, I think you need a really good reason not to run this. Maybe there's a chance you don't have to run it because more decks just stop playing those cards. Like, if everyone just agrees to stop playing Anoetic, Managarm, Ganked, whatever, in startup specifically, I guess in standard it's not as important, but it's still very, 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 very quite good. There's a chance that this existing and being common in Jinteki decks, or sorry, in the Anarch decks, means that the criminals don't have to spend influence on it. But let me tell you, I'd play 1 in criminal decks. I'd probably play 2. In Anarchs, I'd probably consider playing 3. Depends on the format. I guess you can slot Eater for Light the Fire runs. Yeah, you totally can. It doesn't require an access. It requires a successful run. So you can play Eater. You can play that because it doesn't access cards. It doesn't matter. So you can just do Eater and blow everything up. Sadaka got better. Yeah, trashing resources technically gets better to some extent. But like, I'm imagining the decks, the Anarch decks are running 1 of these or running 3 of these. So minimum 2. So I don't know. Claude is also 2 influence. Sure. But, you know, it's tricky. It also seems very Anarch, so it seems like a lost opportunity to preserve faction flavor. I'm surprised that this is like not heavily influenced considering how flavorful it is for Anarch, but there is a chance that this is like a very powerful tool that they want more runners to people to have access to. Just because this is like, I do like this design way better than Rumor Mill, because Rumor Mill is just, I played it, haha, everything's blank. This is more interesting. There's still going to be bluffing. There's still going to be cards put in a remote server just to bait this, right? There's still going to be people are going to use this on an unadvanced naked server thinking it's a spin doctor. Like there's going to be ways that this gets used that are more interesting, but there's a chance that this being too influenced was a way that Nisei wanted to get this effect available to everybody, attached to a real cost. Technically brain damage is a cost. I don't know. Not really. I feel like it may be easier for MBN to deal with this because of tagging. I doubt it, because as soon as you're tagged, you can just fire this for like incidental value. Because that's the thing too. Like, it costs 1. Like, you can be tagged to heck. You can play it and run something and get enough value from it a lot of the time. Why would they get rid of Stimhack and replace it with Stimhack 5.0? Well, this is very different than Stimhack. The big issue why Stimhack had to go largely is because it just gave you credits. And with the existence of cards like self-modifying code, simulchip, anything that pulls from deck from Shaper, it really limits what you can do from Shaper. Just because everyone having an access to a 9-credit burst economy card that lets you install the most expensive card from your deck means you really can't balance Shaper very easily. This is at least more interesting and it's interactive. Stimhack, like people Stimhack archives in Shaper. Like that's, you know, it's a problem. The best counter is the wide decks or seamless rush decks. The decks are already good. Yeah, no, to some extent. I'm imagining they are. And Never Advance is like quite powerful. A lot of those decks still, it's like play Managarm, play like Tranquility Home Grid and HB and all that stuff goes down. Yeah, so they still have to be able to get into server. That's true. You still need breakers. That's very true. Like you obviously need to do that. The fact this is a run event means you can't play with other run events, of course. So you can't inside job with Light the Fire, but you can still boomerang with Light the Fire. Like you still have a lot of options. You can Botulus Light the Fire. Like, yeah, you're going to need breakers for sure. But I'm assuming in that, like we're talking about the matchup where you're getting Anoetic Managarmed once you got through the server anyways. I guess I'll keep playing CTM. Yeah, it's worth noting that the runner is actually doing the trashing. So anything that punishes on that, like AR enhanced security, controlling the message, all those triggers still fire. Public trail plus basic action is a way to counter people putting this on the table. I don't actually believe in that though, right? Like public trail is an immensely expensive card. So the runner had to have made a run. You have to pay 4 credits and then another 2 credits just to trash the singleton Light the Fire. Right? Like, and then you still need to have it. Like it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense to do that. Yeah, you're better off like, I don't know. And it's not like NBN decks are the decks that are like really the worst attacked by this. It would be like HB, Jinteki to some extent because of Anoetic. Obviously that's splashed out of faction 2. And I don't know, Kion Big Grid Startup. I really haven't seen those in a while. I don't know. This is the wildest card. They saved the best one for last. This is going to have a huge impact. It's going to shake up a meta for startup for sure. Standard, you don't see as many Anoetic Managarm decks. The like PD mid-range decks are still like they're in trouble from this. Like this trashing a Managarm on its own is, you know, 8 credits of value, 7 credits of value. Like that's really quite good. And we talk about the other cards. We're going to be playing with Vladisibirsk and Azef in like 5 minutes, I reckon. Anemone is pretty good. It's pretty good, especially against this sort of ability where like you actually do care about cards in hand. So more net damage on top of brain damage does get interesting. I'm not too hot on her Carl, but now brain damage gets a bit more impactful if everyone's still brain damaging themselves. Deep dive is, I'm starting to warm up on it. But you really need the extra click, but that's not that hard to do with empty. What's that card? Out of the Ashes? Is Out of the Ashes rotating though once the full set comes out? Biovault can be in a different server. Yeah, totally. Border control, totally. I'm sure we've been over the options. No, that's cool. They definitely can, but like that's really niche. And let me tell you, like a year ago, almost a year and a half ago, 2 years, every deck was just like 3 Biovaults, or sorry, 3 border controls. And people were like, ban border control. It's way too strong. So like, I don't love that like so much of what we're doing is being anchored around like a very ubiquitous card. That was like the border control surveyor times. Yeah, so this rotates, not now, but eventually it'll rotate. But they said there'll be other cards within the set that care about or that could give you extra clicks. Yeah, so you still have a couple months to play with it. Revolver's fine. I think Shapers are more excited about this than anybody else, but like I'm not even convinced you play it in Criminal. It's pretty good, but so is Bugalter. Maybe this will force Corpse to run more valuable assets, upgrade targets such that Light the Fire becomes more difficult to use carefully. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's like it's a cool thing too, because it's like, you know, player expression, high skill cap stuff, like seeing when somebody chooses to like pull up the Rashida as opposed to pull operative the Manic Arm. Like you saw really cool stuff, especially at top tables at Worlds and like big tournaments. Light the Fire I feel like is less fiddly. Like you just install this and you're good to go. To install this and seeing what your opponent does, that's where it gets really interesting, I think. We're supposed to get a cybernetic that gives clicks. Yeah, they've confirmed that. So we're going to see something that gives more clicks. But Asif Protocol we're going to be trying today. And that's the 7 cards. This should be enough to, like, obviously everyone wants more cards, as do I. But this should be enough to give you something to play with, specifically in Startup, the format that, you know, just has fewer cards. These probably feel a bit more impactful. But we're going to give it a rip. We're going to try a deck that plays with Vladisibirsk and Azef. Unfortunately, they're not implemented on Jateki.net. So we're going to like proxy. It's going to be a bit ugly, but we'll get there. You're not stopping me from trying the cards. Real questions: how spicy are Boreal's Corpse if this runner power level? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. And they've talked about it. Like they've talked about you know, the power level they want, or the sort of like haymakers they want, the really exciting, like, oh, turning point, that they're interested in having Netrunner embody a bit more. And Light the Fire kind of expresses that. Light the Fire still seems worse than Stimhack against all but the Clown Car remotes are really upgraded servers. Ixron, I see what you mean. Like 9 credits is obviously a lot on a run event at the same time, but I think this has a chance of being more powerful and in really interesting, weird ways. When this is on the table, it impacts how your opponent has to play in a very obvious way, as opposed to like, obviously, do they have Stimhack from hand? I don't know. Same old thing, Stimhack, lol. Yeah, you're right. Competing with one of the best runner cards is a good luck for sure. But this is something else. Am I the only one who thinks this thing is like absurd? I saw this on Friday. I'm like, what, are you kidding me? This is absurd. This is so wild. It's been a week later. It's still very powerful. Okay. Let's close some tabs. Let's build a deck. What are we? Top by 5? Stimhack? Number 1. Is top all ranks? How high is Stimhack from the top? Oh, actually pretty far. Oh no, I was looking at card number 1. I was looking at the runners, the corpse side. 1980, the highest rated card on all Trash or Bust though. I realize it's a resource, not an event. Yeah, Scrub, you just play it. You can play 3 of them on the table at once. Be like, figure it out. Seeing the full art makes me wish they went back and made full arts for the Uprising booster packs. They did a PMK, but they were price support. I have them actually. It's just they weren't fully available. Oh, on that note, Reddit/Netrunner. Nisei is doing a giveaway. It started about 8 hours ago. I think it's open until the 13th or the 12th. So if you want to get a full set of the Midnight Sun Booster Edition, you just have to comment to this. I think that's all you have to do. Again, this will be, if you're watching on YouTube, this will be a link in the comments below. You just have to comment on this post. Your Reddit account has to be like 5 days old, and you can't have been a shitbag. And then they'll send it to you if you win the raffle. So like, cool. Thanks, Nisei. There's a Gagarin Azef in that DB that's very recent. I saw that by title. I didn't look into it, but I definitely want to build a built to last fast events deck. I saw one of the Nisei folks, Spencer, say on Reddit that LTF has been tested for a year in standard and no one thought it's too strong. Yeah, I could see it. I think it's quite strong. I think it's probably stronger in startup, where like, you know, those resources or upgrades, excuse me, show up a lot more. Speaking of full arts, I got my World's Continental prizes and they look fantastic. Yo, I've seen that. Actually, a bunch of people in locally have been getting their prize support from Nisei. So if you had like World's raffles or World's prizes, hopefully they're rolling out to you soon. I haven't received anything just yet, but let me tell you, I've been checking my mailbox every day. Can't have been a bean. All the cards over 1900 ELO are busted, bannable, or close to it. They're good cards. Anyways, get involved. Just, you got to write something here. Talk about what you're excited about. You can say just about anything and you'll be entered from my understanding. We have some Hollow Sure Gambles and Mana. Yeah, Hollow Sure Gambles are tight. They're really good. Wait, Sure Gambles? I think I have Hollow Hedge Funds. I don't think I have Hollow Sure Gambles. How'd you get those? That's sick. Anywho, let's build a deck. All these cards are up, mind you, on Netrunner DB. They're just not up yet on JNet, but I assume they will be soon. Apparently Noah, his wife has just had a child, so they're a bit busy doing that. Wish Noah the best. Noah is one of the head devs on JNet. So, all the best, Noah. Hope you're doing well. Corp deck. I think startup getting a big power boost was inevitable with the next set. It's just due to the nature system gateways and intro pack. Yeah, also like the first half of Ashes is not very powerful. I got my Tapeworm from World's Raffle today. So Patrick Sklar is very proud that he was the top placing Montreal Netrunner player Worlds this year. And so he got his price support and he looked at it and he's like, okay, it's good. It's great. And then someone else posted online in our Montreal and they got like a shiny card that he hasn't got. He's like, wait, what? I thought it was the highest posted. And then we're looking into it. We're doing research. We're trying to figure out if he actually got beat and he had to change his outlook on the world. No, it was just a raffle prize. Pat's very relieved. I love the flavor on Revolver. Your 7th use is practically throwing the icebreaker. It's heavy. It means it's reliable. If that doesn't work, you hit him with it. Okay, we're gonna do Wayland. We're gonna do Fast Advance. We're gonna play a bunch of the new cards. It's called Wayland, built to last. Pat's still the top player. Yeah, World Breakers. Holy crap! I gotta win. We played World Breakers this weekend, and I still haven't won a game. And Pat's been rubbing it in, which at this point, like, it kind of seems like you're taking candy from a baby. Like, I'm not competitive. I'm glad you're happy, buddy. But I've checked on the World Breaker YouTube channel, and Kuthloon hasn't won a single game ever. And I keep playing Kuthloon, so another thing that's exciting in my life. Apparently, my Steam Deck is showing up tomorrow, so we're gonna play JNet on the couch. Okay, collection standard. Is it in here actually? Nisei booster pack already legal. Hell yeah. Okay, so built to last, an ability that I wasn't very happy about. I wasn't very jazzed about when it came out. I warmed up to it a bit, but specifically if you watch the reviews back in the day, one thing I said is that this ability would love a card that you can advance to get your value from it, and then you move the advancements off of it, and then the card still exists, so you can continue to advance it. Like, I wanted an advanceable ice that you advance, and then you use the advancement counter to do something nice. So the idea is that this is the best ability to be able to continually re-advance cards, right? Because that's very good. The fact that you advance, gain 2 credits, that's a good ability. A lot of IDs don't gain 2 credits for their ability. And we do have it. It's Vladisibirsk. Excuse me. Steam Deck? Yeah, I know. I got really lucky. Thanks for streaming World Breakers. Gonna pick up a set after stream. Hey, enjoy it. Frisbee. It's gonna be a while. Oh, World Breakers on that note. They released a print and play. It's all up on the Kickstarter. So if you just want to print the game out to try it and play in person, you can do it. Got an analog pocket so I can spring for a Stream Deck. Oh yeah, hey, no, that's a really cool thing too, though. I think I had a skeleton for this deck, but not thought or tuned. Let me know if you want to start from it. Thanos, I'd be interested to see it, but I think we're gonna try and do 2 things at once, which is usually a bad thing, but it's not gonna stop us. Congrats on Stream Deck. Thank you. It's in Illinois. It should be coming tomorrow, it says. Okay, so Vladisibirsk, you advance it, you gain 2 credits, you advance it again. So basically you do install advance for free, besides obviously that time, but at least you're not like spending resources. And then you can move 2 hosted advancement counters to put on a card in the root of the server. So the idea is with this thing, it's actually really easy to fast advance 3 2s. It's actually somewhat easy as well to fast advance 4 2s. Next turn, you install a 4-2 agenda in this remote server, you advance it, and then as an instant speed ability, you move 2 advancement counters over and you score a 4-2. Now that's really powerful. And it's one of the first ways that you can consistently advance a 4-2 on a card and have that card not be useless. Interestingly enough, though, I don't think we want to put a lot of 4-2s in this deck, because the play I feel like we want to do a fair bit of the time is that we want to put an Azef protocol, a 3-2 agenda that says when scored, you do 2 meat damage. Mind you, you have to trash one of your own cards. Hopefully that's not a problem. Not going to think about it much. And then you score this, you install, you just move the tokens over, advance it once, or you technically advance it first because it built to last, so let's not goof that up. You move the counters over, score it, and then with a click left, you can play Neurospike. So I want to build a fast advance deck that has the chance to also kill with Neurospike. So we're going to running a lot of the Azefs, all the Alices, all the Hostiles, and I think our last slot is a 4-2. I guess we run above the law as well. Is this Sentient City Grid with more steps? Yes, but it allows you to score a 4-2, Cat. So kind of excited about it. Above the law, 1 global food, 1 hostile, 3 new construction, 3 Atlas, 2 Amani, whoa, 3 NGO reconstruction contract, audit, city dedication, hedge fund seamless, Aked vanilla. Oh, so you're not even doing Vladisibirsk. Interesting. I think we also can fit in maybe some, you definitely want dedication ceremonies, because dedication ceremonies work with reconstruction contracts, but they also work with Vladisibirsk. You can always dedicate a Vladisibirsk, which is nice. It's the fastest way besides seamless launch, but you could do this all in the same turn, I reckon. So you actually can score out a 2-1 from hand. Who would have thought? In theory, with dedication ceremony, with an unadvanced Vladisibirsk, you can dedicate it, install an agenda, advance the agenda, move the Vladisibirsk counters over. It's worth noting that Vladisibirsk only lets you do it once per turn, so you can't move out 4 counters across one whole turn. But you could technically do, if you left it to stew for some reason, if you were like bluffing it's an Antarctica cipher, you can move 2 at the end of their turn, 2 at the beginning of yours. Oh, Amani is Vladis. Thank you. That makes a lot more sense. I said it was built a while ago. Okay, that makes way more sense. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to run Advanceable Ice. We're going to see how quickly our influence goes between Trickle Light, Vladisibirsk, and Neurospike. Let's see how much influence this stuff is to start. That seems like a bit too much. Jeez. Yikes. Oh, that's ugly. This is 4 influence. I feel like we just played 2 of them. It's just a bit unfortunate because I want to play with the card more than that. Like we want Spin Doctors. Then we can't play Trickle Light. Oh man. Trickle Light is 2 influence. Ah. Oh, this is terrible. Okay, deck over. Play this in yellow. What are you thinking? Okay, so we probably shouldn't do 2 things at once. I think we could probably just... I want to Neurospike someone. What am I kidding? We don't need Trickle Light. We have Dedication. What's the when you score an agenda, find any card? That's Malapert Data Vault, which is definitely good. It's not a region, but allows you to get the 1 Neurospike to be lethal. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, that's probably worth playing. Well, cost for a good card? You tell me about it. Okay, so let's build an agenda suite. We'll play all the 3/2s we can. So 3 Above the Law, 3 a Zeph Protocol. You can't trash the Malapert and gains ability. We got 3 Atlas. That brings us to, we only need 18 or 19. So we're at 14 here. So we could play 2 Hostiles. We probably want 3 Hostiles, honestly. And then we could play a 4/2. Maybe we just play, is there a 4/2 that really helps us? Or we could just play Oaktown Renovation because it's good. They probably have built the Last in mind when they picked the influence cost. I think Vladisibirsk is like the corp card that you'd most be interested in considering. A lot of words. Splashing into any ID. Sansan's good for Azef. Sansan's not, I don't love Sansan for Azef though. Because like, the way that I see Azef, like if I'm scoring an Azef as a 3/2 that does 2 meat damage and I have to trash my own card, not a great thing. But if you're doing that into Neurospike to do 4 damage, then it's interesting. Like I don't love, like if I just want to score 3/2s out from my deck, like Azef is the worst 3/2 in our deck. We're thinking 1x merger, Janktivist, that's influence too. I don't want to do that. You could play merger. If you want to go all 3/2s, you can make the deck. You could do the whole deck. Like you have 18 points of 3/2s. More. You have 6, 12, 8, you have 20 points of 3/2s. You can do it in Wayland specifically now, which is pretty wild. We just do an Oaktown. We could do a Hostile and nah, we just do an Oaktown. You also could cut the agendas down. You could drop a Hostile and Oaktown and play just like a 5/3 to save slots, but I think we'll be fine. Okay, assets. We want to advance things, so NGO front is like fine. That's fine. I don't know how good it is. It might be too slow. Wall to wall is pretty good. This is, it's a bit awkward. Like wall to wall is not amazing because we're not playing Trickle Light. Wall to wall is better for ice, but if the card already has advancements on it, you don't get value from built to last. Hostile and GFI adds a slot. Yeah, it does, but I'm not really excited. I don't think we can score out the GFI. Best followers. Hold on, I need to ban a robot. How do I ban? Yeah, Malapert. We have 2 in I think already. Maybe we want more. Ban. Yeah, we have 2. What else? The ice is pretty easy. You play all the good advanceable ice and then border control, and then some ice that isn't as good, but is it's good enough. I mean, it isn't advanceable. So like 3 Aket, I probably play 2 Afshar. Border control. Take that. Light the fire. We probably play Hordum. We definitely play Mouselis. We definitely play Masvingo. We realize we have no sentries. Urtica, I'm not in love with Urtica. Like you can use your Urtica to guard the vault, but like I'm not excited about that. It seems like very unlikely for all that stuff to line up, if you ask me. What else? We have no sentries. I guess we're ending up playing like a Colossus. The thing is like Colossus just doesn't make a lot of sense to this deck. It's very expensive. I feel like the tag and the trash program subroutine aren't very relevant. And 6 is a lot. Like I feel like we might just want to play Winchester, but that's already only for HQ. I'm going to discard a GFI. It makes a single hostile risky, but more slots. The hostiles are really important to this deck because like I'd actually consider running 3 hostiles and playing 19 points because scoring a hostile means you only need 3 3/2s. You know, it's a really big deal. Winchester's positional. Yeah, it's positional, but it also doesn't do anything on the remote server, right? Like trash hardware, trash program. You don't want that on a remote server. Like, I don't know what to do for sentries. Can Vladisibirsk be only used on advanceable ice mid-run? Vladisibirsk can only put advancements on cards installed in the root of the server, so it'll never advance ice. Ballista is not very good. I don't know. I'm not in love with Ballista. Paying 5 to end the run. Like at this point, we might as well run Firewall besides it's the Sentry. Positioner equals over vanilla, fine. I don't know what Sentry to play in Wayland. I really don't know. Like nothing is really good. This is upsetting. How are you killing with Azef Spike? We're not gonna like consistently kill. Like maybe we put a snare in our deck. Maybe we also put Price X or something like that. But like it has a chance of killing. It's not a high chance. If we had 2 Neurospikes, then we're like really talking. But then we have to like install. Nah, it's very convoluted. But no, we have to wait for them to get down to 3 hand size, which some people might actually do, especially if they're being very aggressive against a fast advance deck. But it's not like consistent. Hey Suri, how's it going? I usually say a rash. Hedge funds, I reckon. We want dedication ceremony because we're gonna be playing reconstruction as well. That just gives us more options as well. Install, dedicate. A Dudedwa is not particularly good for the cost. Like I'd rather have a Hordem or Mouseless. We don't need massive amounts of advancements. I don't even like we don't actually use advancements. Like we have no real horse in the advancement race. Like we don't have. We're not playing Red Planet Couriers. I forgot that we're not playing Trick of Light anymore. Like we really do not have to. I know vanilla. No, we have like 9 barriers already. Like we probably have too many. I don't know if we want a vanilla, especially because people are playing Amakua pretty consistently. What else do we want? What are we at in terms of cards? 45. Shit. We're at 60 nice. That's already a lot. Yeah, I forgot that we don't really need advanceable ice. Like advancing this ice is like it's like clicking for credit. Yeah, I forgot because mass comms. With mass comms, we really did used to care about advancing our ice. We don't. We just want to put something on a remote server that they can't get through. No sentries is the issue we're running into. You want border control? I think so. Yeah. Like having no sentries is an issue. We definitely want Audacity. Oh, this is actually quite ugly. Contract heroes are clearing house for the kill value. It's not a lot of value. Like, I don't know. Clearinghouse doesn't really do much. Actually, Clearinghouse can be quite neat because you can do damage and then hopefully fast events out with Neurospike. It seems unlikely. Colossus is like okay, but Colossus is like not what we want. Like this deck wants to go fast. You want to install a card in the remote server, put in front of it. Or Colossus is like useless on its own. You need to put something behind it. Against Anarchs, it does nothing. Ballista is like not like I'd rather run an Enigma than a Ballista like any day of the week. That's the issue, right? I know it's not a Sentry, but you know what I mean. A single Sapper, like Sapper's okay. I'd rather play Sapper, I feel, than a Colossus wild enough. Because like I don't think we have to care about the advanceable thing. We also have 2 influence. We have to cut cards. If you're playing with new cards, can we proxy LTF when we play you? Yeah, totally. Can we fit Gatekeeper? Yeah, we could. We could. We also need cards to trash, which is worth knowing. Like if we were scoring Azos, we need to trash things. Drafters 2 influence. Ooh, actually I like the Drafter better. We got too many cards. We have 17 ice, so we can cut the ice. I feel like the Masfingos probably just go. Masfingo. Yeah, that's not good. I feel like I'd love to have just another Neurospike in here. I feel like we're missing like very obvious operations. Hold on. What's a fast events? Room for Rashida? You'd hope, huh? Room for Rashida would be really good. Oh my god. How do you build a 44 card deck? I feel like searching just Audacity is gonna be Rototurret, honestly, I'd be actually more interested in. David, how's it going? Single Archer is a classic surprise, but if we Archer, like we're not gonna win the game. Like we can't afford to Archer in this deck. I don't know. Archer makes more sense for decks that had an alternate win condition. It was like I can square out, but if you run, I can trash your breakers and I can like hard hitting use you. If we're just like trading one of our agendas to keep them out, like I don't know. Vanilla is like something like we have enough barriers. I don't want to put vanilla in there. Like if we had Sentry vanilla, you know? Yeah, we have too many barriers already. What are we missing here? Oh, this is like mass comms, dedication, hedge fund, red level clearance is good. Red planet couriers only makes sense with biotic. We're not playing that. Wall to wall is good actually with the kind of ice we have. We probably play wall to wall over Rashida. Reconstruction. This seems a bit elegant. Sprint is good. Shame. Tithe is like okay. Tithe is like fine. But we put it on central servers only. It's kind of like massless. Well, I feel like we learned something from, yeah, wall to wall's probably better than Rashida. Why Miss Vingo? Why? Because we are silly and we forgot about the fact that we're not playing mass comms or trick light because we can't and or we said we wouldn't. So Miss Vingo is not very necessary. A cat on its own is okay. It has a face check. It plays advancements. That's good. The fact that it can place advancement on like a it's actually like, so I think it's easy to focus on the 4-2 ability of Vladisibirsk Grid, but if your Vladisibirsk Grid has a single advancement on it, like you don't commit heavily to it. You advance it, you gain 2 credits, right? So you gain 1 credit. Then next turn, you install a 3-2, you advance the 3-2, you advance the Vladisibirsk, and you score out. Install, advance. Advance, yeah, you score out. Like 1 advance is fine. It's technically threatening. A 0 advance is fine because of dedication. I still like Pharmacarry. I don't. Doesn't do anything. They take 2 net damage. Maybe actually we care about this. Maybe 2 net damage makes sense because we're neurospiking them. We can play 44 cards in our rush and on 3 sprint. I think we want closer to 12 to 13 ice. Yeah, we have way too much ice. We want to go down to 44 cards too. Yeah, maybe this is fine because if they take 2 net damage, we're okay. It's a shame that this doesn't really consistently do anything. Like a lot of people will just be like, take the 2 net damage. Okay, blank ice. We'll try it, but I'm not a big fan. After Hordem, cat border control. I came here to see Saraswati, so what do I know? Rumway, how's it going? We played Saraswati earlier. Okay, I feel like we're missing operations. 47 cards, we're getting there. Trust your instincts, Pharmacarry is bad. Yo, Yusengren, how's it going? We have a huge trash robusto following here. I know, it seems quite bad. I've thought about it. No. Okay, we'll run. We'll run 1. My BTLS is Arquette, Archer, Border Control, Colossus, Mouse, Pharos, Wormhole. Wow, that's expensive though. We can't really afford any of that. All we got is NGO fronts and hedge funds. Yeah, we don't have Sprint. That was the other deck. Yeah, we don't have Sprint. We need to cut 2 cards. What is this draw like? Oh, that's quite ugly. I think we're going to be surprised with how ugly Azef is. Winchester better than Pharmacarry? I think you're right, but like, we generally want, like, our HQ ice situation is not going to be that big of a deal. Winchester's just bad remote ice. Pharmacarry is barely playable. I know. I'm going to try it, though, just because we have Neurospike. Like, maybe we'll care about the damage because we can fast advance damage cards out. This is good enough, right? Like, we would offshore HQ, Aket remote hedge fund. Oh, man, we would probably just, funny enough, we would probably just score this out. We lose that. Oh, this seems quite bad, actually. Hold on. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I feel like we're doing 2 things at once and it's bad. Like, there's a chance that the Azef protocol just fits into like a CityWorks project deck that's running Neurospike. There's a chance that we have to cut the Neurospikes just so that we can play 3 of this burst grid. I feel like that might be better. Okay, we're going to cut this. That gives us -1 influence. Okay. I like cutting the Nero for 3 spin. Yes. But I do want to try 3 of these. What if you cut a hostile net at 5-3 for the slot? Our deck really can't score the 5-3s. The hostiles actually I'd consider going to 3 of. But you could cut a hostile in the Oaktown easily and play a 5-3. I honestly think we'd cut an Azef before the Oaktown. I really think we would. I don't think this is like, this is a real cost associated to 3-2. It doesn't matter if you win, but like it's our, I know Neuro's the dream. We'll go back to the dream. We'll start with the Vladisibirsk. But we're at 43 cards. Like we're kind of getting there. I just wish we had more ways to like, maybe we need another spin doctor. That's probably better than that. But like, I wish we had more ways to fast advance this thing. 2 of the Azef is good enough. I think so. I think we go down to 2 of these and then like, I don't know, 2 Oaktown. Maybe actually a spin and something. 1 influence a sprint. I feel like a spin doctor is better than a sprint, but maybe we can do 2 and 1 because we want to recur our fast advance pieces. I think there's a chance that 3 spin doctor is more relevant. Okay, this is our opening hand. Ice, we're on 12 ice. It's a bit low. But you can fast advance agendas with Vlad and Seamless, no? You can, but only if the Vlad's been on the table. The thing is, like, Dedication does everything that Vladisibirsk does, but better. With Rococo, right? Sorry. Wow. We have Rococo. I just read that in chat. But Dedication is better than Seamless. Because you can just dedicate either Rococo or the Vladisibirsk. You don't need to have it. Like, we can install a Vladisibirsk. We can dedicate it and then score a 2-1. Never mind. But you know what I mean, right? Like, it's Dedication just does Seamless, but better. It doesn't cost influence. Okay, opening hand. Arcade HQ, border control remote, hedge fund. We score at this. Maybe Jimson or Oberth would be a better starting point. Yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance. I'm realizing that we're not going to build to last too much value. It's only going to be Vladisibirsk and some agendas, but we'll try this. I think we got something here. This seems fine. Besides the Formic area, that's terrible. I've thought about it. It's not good. We actually could maybe do a Winchester because we're not icing up. We're icing up centrals more than the remote. Oh, that's not true because we have 3 Vladisibirsk. Maybe we need a big ice. When you're advancing, do you want to advance Vlad once? Move the token to the agenda? Advancing Vlad once means that we could score out a 3-2 next turn. Are they going to trash the Vlad? Yeah, that's why we iced it up. But like, it's 4 cost. It's fine. Ish. That's why we have to ice it up. So Aket, border control. After Horda Mouseless. Mouseless is actually better for centrals. So maybe we should do something like... It's weird how Enigma is better than Hordem a lot of the time. Sapper, it's okay. Winchester, it's okay. One Archer seems okay, but we can't afford to like lose an agenda to Archer. Like we really can't. Like if we lose a hostile to Archer, we have to score 4 agendas. That's impossible. After it's equivalent to Enigma with HQ upside? No, because it has a face check on the remote server. Oh, I see what you mean. The lose a click is actually a lot of times more relevant in these rush decks where the games are like only so many turns, but okay, I hear you. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, the thing that I'm missing is like we're missing 1 big ice for the remote server if we need to. Maybe Archer's it. Like actually maybe Tithonium is it, but I guess we're weak on sentries. I feel like Tithonium is potentially much more powerful. And we can actually just like pay to res this if we really need to. I'm gonna do Tithonium over Archer. Maybe I'm wild. He's wild out there. Okay. I feel like we love Spiderweb, something with 3 subroutines. All right. Vladisibirsk spelling. Built the last. Okay, look. You don't have to have creative deck lists. All right. Thank you. Question is, what card do we substitute for a 4-cost NBN card that you can advance? Like, what are the advanceable 4-cost NBN cards? You could Trebuchet for an expensive Sentry. It's very expensive, and the bad pub is probably bad for us. Quarter F, yeah, Metropolitan Grid time. Yo, welcome. How's it going? Can be advanced. Faction NBN. Rotation, yes. Reversed, yeah, reversed is like the... Wait, what does reversed say on it? Yeah, it should be an upgrade, actually. Yeah, you're totally right. It should be an upgrade, ideally. Oh, reversed is okay. You can advance. Oh, okay. You use defense construct to proxy? And you just tell them to pay 4? Yeah, maybe that's actually worth it. We could just do Biovault then. F it. Because then we're going to inflate the defense contract stats, and it's important that we don't do that. I'm so not excited to res Ballista, but there's a chance that Ballista is better than Archer. Yeah, I think we'll just do Biovault, and we'll just fix it on JNet. Yeah, I don't know. I think Archer's wrong. If we res Archer, like we putting ourselves way far behind. Like we only have so many fast advanced tools. We have to make every advance count. We probably won 3 hostiles, I'll be honest. Build to Last Vladisibirsk. Wayland Consortium built to last. Okay, so we're gonna do... Oh, it brings it in as a Maze Amusements. That's really cute. Oh no, it didn't. This deck has a Maze Amusements in it? Wait, what? Why does it have a Maze Amusements in it? Did we put a Maze Amusements in our deck? Threat of Archer might be enough. I think you're right. What we do is we say that we have Archer in the deck, and the last minute we remove it. Why does this thing have Amazing Amusements in it? Okay, so we're gonna just do Bio Vault. Good. 1, 2, 3. What card was Amazing Amusements? Oh, Azef. Oh shit. How do we fix the Azef? Because we had 2 of them. I guess we just do 2 mergers. Yeah. I'm sorry if you're watching at home and confused what's happening. I guess we play 2 mergers because it's a 3/2 we can play in the deck. Okay. Winchester over Trebuchet. I don't want Trebuchet. I like that we have the Ice HQ. I think if anything we cut Atlas and we put in Archer, and we cut in. Wait, where's our Archer? Oh, we put Titanium in instead. Yeah, okay, never mind. We're fine. Our sentries are not great. Isn't there a 3/2 in the TD campaign? I think there might be. I either don't know the name and or I don't think it'll be a standard legal deck if we do that. Oh, hold on. This is clearly not good. It's collection, that's it. Also going to spoil everyone who hasn't played that stunning campaign yet. It's not standard legal evidence collection though, right? This is not working well. Something. Okay, we're good. Proxying, what's it called? Midnight Sun. Booster proxy. Funny enough, the antonym to Midnight Sun is Noon Moon, which is arguably funnier. Good old Noon Moon. The Big H. Damn, they're in here quickly. Billy Joel Rumor Mill. Didn't start the fire. Didn't light the fire. I'm gonna call this start the fire like so often because of Billy Joel. It's gonna be a problem. It really is. Yeah, right on. Oh, that's less than good. I'm using rotated cards. Oh, for the proxies? I can't change the legality. Oh, are there any 4 advanced upgrades? No, there are very few. Sure. I'm assuming they're doing it for the proxies because I can't change the legality. Public trial woes. Yeah. It's because it's standard. Let me rehost. I should have considered that. Standrad. So I'm gonna go new game. We're gonna do cash, so you can do whatever you want. And now you're good to go. That should work. Cool. All right, Tau, making our Winchesters and Avshar looking bad since 2021. Keep. Thanks, you too. So they're probably definitely playing the Shaper card that says run all 3 centrals. I don't know how they're going to get an extra click. I imagine it's out of the ashes. There's a chance that they're going to give us 15 credits and then they'll play Beth. We could score out the Azef, but I feel like this card is going to be a bit worse than we think it is. We can't actually score it with Audacity on an empty board. Do we want to advance one of these? It's like clicking for credit. Then we could like next turn install advance this. But again, I don't know if you want to ever score Azef. It's so brutal that we have to wipe our board. Yikes. I do have a Tau 3x deep dive turn 5/6 deck. It's a bit all in. I believe it. We want to border control and centrals real soon. I guess we advance. I'm gonna advance to centralize. Getting this to 3 advancements is a bit relevant. The Whoredom really isn't unless they Mayfly it. Oh, there you go. Peace in our time. So they're gonna get us to 15 credits likely, and then play Beth. So we're gonna try and make ourselves destitute. There you go. 16 credits. So wall to wall. We can always just install Vladisibirsk in here and advance events, but we don't really have anything to do with it. It's a bit awkward. There's a chance though we just do the 2 meat damage and like hit out of hand something good. Yeah, man, Alzev is ugly. So first time we advance a card, we gain 2 credits. So cycling for credit. How can we ice an empty server instead of essential? Because we need to push to win. If we don't like push our Vladisibirsk on the table, like I don't know how we're gonna win. Like we can't just ice up. We have to push the win condition. Wow, they're really going for it. We want a border control in R&D. This is good that they're going to over discard like a bunch of, yeah, Verification last click out of the ashes, 3 in the bin already. Those are 3 hit off of the moshing. Yeah, we're going to lose quite fast. Yeah, I imagine we're going to lose quite fast. So with this we could score out, and actually I think there's a chance that we want to use the 3-2, this Azef, to score out. Like we can just feed an NGO front. We can install NGO front, install this advance it, and trash the NGO front. And then there's a chance that we'll hit a deep dive from grip. Is there a deal meat command, or is it only take meat? Control F, meat. Meat. Take meat. Take meat. No, there's no deal meat. Do meat. I think that's actually a fine play. Is trying to Azef out at the cards. Runner can run the command for us. Yeah, they will have to. So they threw out. Okay. Question is how they get through this. I don't know. They're going to reposition our ice. So I'm going to install the Azef protocol on server 1. I think we'd rather lose the NGO front. We don't want to give them a click. New remote. We'll advance this. We'll res this. So that's an Azef. 1, 2, 3. I mean, yeah, and a Vladis. That's Vladisibirsk. So then we'll do add counter. So there's a hyphen here, right? 3. Add counter 0. Score. And that's Azef. So could you kindly take 2 meat? They technically take the 2 meat before the trigger. And we'll trash that. Mayfly with Simul Chip was my way to trigger the dives, if that helps. Yeah, that's cool. Euler works really well. So we hit a Guru Diviner and a Rizeki, so it looks like we missed it. No. The Guru Diviner doesn't actually matter. But they need that for anemone and snare and stuff. They swapped the ice, so the mouseless is now in their remote server. This is also now technically a real threat. We want to get an ice on R&D. Unfortunately, the Winchester just doesn't do it. Again, not great. Simul Chip get some access to things, but they need to trash something to get there. They have 5 ashes out. I wonder if they're also an APOC deck first. They might actually just be. Spin Doctor's good. Still no border control, but we can do an advance here. Because we can score and get a counter with the Project Atlas, which means that we could like pull the border control. We're also trying not to give them 5 clicks, but it doesn't really matter. They're going to apocalypse us, I'm pretty sure. That's the issue. And border control doesn't really matter. Oh, that's a revolver. Sick. Oh man, that's great. Yeah, totally. So revolver. It's not on JNet, so you can't write the text. Revolver is this one here, right? So it comes in 2 for 1, 2 for 3 strength on sentries, 1 for 1 subroutine. So it actually gets through our for free. It gets through our sentry. So I'm glad we are not on Archer. That's Athonium would be more relevant. If they run into a barrier that trashes stuff, it's gonna be an issue. They don't have anything to simul chip besides Rizeki. They're just drawing up. Okay. So we can score out Atlas with the counter. I feel like that's probably the play. We can do install, advance. We probably just Atlas here. Let's see if we can just survive. We want to counter, right? That counter is definitely worth it. Okay. So at this point, like maybe actually it's worth having a 5-3 because with an Atlas counter and like dedication reconstruction contract, I imagine we could actually pull together a fast advance combo. Yeah, grabbing hostile is obviously quite good here because we can just audacity out the Project Atlas either this turn or the following turn. They also put the end the run on HQ, which is good. Like they could have tanked the mouseless. Can I say I take a minute and love revolvers trash? Yo, Dimitri's totally. It's really, really flavorful. Looks like we're going in here. Out of the ashes. So that's a Whoredom. It will end the run here. I think we'll res. Gets a credit back. Yeah. And it's really good with an APOC deck, right? Like you don't care. Now they know it's a code gate here. So it looks like they're not going to fire it this turn. They know what they need for HQ. So we can just put them on it. Like we can just Atlas out. Send a message to allow for bigger ice as well. I don't know if I'd love that one. Oilers coming down. So it looks like they're going to APOC us, followed by some amounts of deep dives. The question is whether the hostiles survive or not. So we have to go really fast. So I think we just Atlas out here. Fortunately, we're losing all the spin doctors. What else could we pull with this? With this, in theory, we could pull the reconstruction contract. Then we could reconstruction contract. Well, thinking, hold on. So we can pull a reconstruction contract, dedication ceremony. We can install, we can advance dedication ceremony. So we can trade an Atlas for an Atlas with a token. That's actually better than Audaciting, right? It takes one card out of our deck, which is bad. I think that's a play. Audacity Atlas, but we lose our whole hand. I feel like we'd be better off Atlas to get an Atlas counter. Yeah, we do Atlas counter. No, we don't do it for hostile here. Unless you want to keep these in hand and maybe take the hostile out of the deck. Maybe you're right about that. Huh, interesting. Yeah, because if we get that out of the deck, they can't deep dive us. But we can always pull for dedication ceremony. First click dedicate, second install, third advance, move the tokens. And we hostile next turn. Yeah, I think we dedicate. We just have to hope that the two hostiles survive their nonsense dig. And then we still have an Atlas and an Audacity in hand. Yeah, that's fine. Like this is where dedication is really quite good. So we have to do all this again. Don't forget to pop spin before I IPOC. No, I definitely won't. I'm remembering this time. Oh, no, that's not right. We want that to be 4. Oh no, it's only 3. Oh no. Oh, it's only 3 advancements because you can't move all of them. How is it 4? Yeah, I thought we can move all of them. No, but you can only move 2. Oh, whoops. You mind hitting that undo turn button? Yeah, we can't do it. It's legal, but we would lose the Atlas counter. We want to preserve the Atlas counter. Wait, you have to do the last advance on the grid, not the agenda? No, because the grid says you can only use it once a turn. So that's the problem, is we can't actually use 4 counters in a meaningful way because you can't score agendas on the opponent's turn. Use the ability once per turn, yeah. So we could get 3 advancements. We just can't gain 4. Yeah, so we can get 3 advances. We can't get 4. So we're going to preserve this and we're just going to, unfortunately, Audacity out. Still puts them on the clock. So they have to win now. They know the Whoredom's here. I don't think they'll move it. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what they can do. You just Audacity Atlas for 3? Yeah, that's definitely the play here. You win next turn this way? Not necessarily, because if they could play, in theory, they don't have extra clicks. Oh, no, they will. But like, I think what they're going to do now is they're going to out of the ashes, C8, access 2, C8, access 2, C8, access 2. And not only are they probably going to win on that, but like, we're going to probably lose the hostiles. So we needed a border control for R&D, but even that is not that impactful. The border control for R&D actually would be relevant on the basis that they don't have a fractor. Like there's a chance of pulling out the fractor there is the most important thing. How much does this thing cost? 2? Yeah, this is gonna be a problem for us. It costs 2. And I don't know, I think they are on Apocalypse. Oh man, they got an Atlas off the top? That's really bad. So we're gonna react. If they're not an APOC, like shuffling is bad here anyways, but they saw the top card anyways, so we'll do 2 untrashables. Wait, oh, that's that. Wait, I was in the middle of, sorry. You undo the click kindly? It ate my spin doctor trigger. Yeah, okay. Cool, cool. All you. Yeah, so that's deep dive. It says only play run at all essentials, and then they can spend a click. So they have to look at the top 8. How do we do this? I'll draw 8. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So Afshar, Tithonium, Afshar, Audacity, 2x reconstruction contract, Winchester, Vladisibirsk. No agenda. You should put the hostile with the Atlas token. I don't want to do that because then they run HQ and it's the only card in their hand. So I'm not interested in doing that. It's good that we're on stream too, because otherwise, who knows what your opponent's gonna do. So they can access 2 cards. Is there no show hand function? I don't know actually. Let me check. I don't think so. Treasure Rococo cost 4. Do you want to do a second? They can spend a click to see a second one. I don't think they want to. Okay. They could in theory. It's obviously like not a great play unless they really want to trash the Rococo. But yeah, we only pull the Atlas on the last click. Otherwise, it's free for them to get. We have to shuffle. Yeah, I don't know if there's a show hand function. Okay. Draw 8. Not much better. Afshar, Audacity, 2x NGO front, Afshar, border control, reconstruction contract, wall to wall. There's no limit once per turn on deep dive? No, there's not. As far as I understand, there's not. Play only if you made successful run and all. Yeah, no. But the thing is, like, it's going to be a lot harder to do once the actual set comes out because Out of the Ashes rotates. Okay. Yeah, this has been bad so far. They've only won more, so we're kind of likely to survive here. But there are 4 agendas out of the deck. Let's go. Try it. So now they can still steal 2 agendas. Luckily, we don't have 3 pointers. 2 agendas. Oaktown, Renovation, and Hostile. Do you want to know the rest? Yeah, it's looking a bit dicey. They have 1 click left to win. That's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna just do install. Oh no! All right, they have to spend 2 clicks. Cool. So how do I do this? I want to spend a click to install something. I'll just put them on the table. Yeah. Deep dive is good. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit worse now, but like, it is the sort of cheesy apocalypse type of style. Like, it's gonna be fine. Gain 2 clicks. Yeah, I just have to wait for them to jack out because you can't do it mid run. Yeah, we went to hostile score now. So it was close. There's 1 more hostile in the deck. How's it going, Philip? Cool. We'll draw the hostile off the top. We got above the law. We can't Audacity it. Actually, hold on. We can dedicate this, right? I just don't want to fuck this up. Because obviously we can pull the hostile. So we do install, dedicate, trash breath. Yeah. Server 1. Advance. Dedicate. I shouldn't have done I should not have done it this way. This is annoying. I should have just done the hostile. Whatever. Above the law, trash breath. Worth it. Whew. GG. Yeah, I've no doubt this sort of deck can pop off really quickly, right? Like, they don't have to do very little. We didn't put a lot of ice here. Admittedly, we're pretty, like, one-minded too. But it'll happen. You slow them down the same way you slow down Apocalypse decks, which is like, you can't do that infinitely. I still think like Apocalypse would have been better for them, right? Like if they Apocalypsed, if they just Apocalypsed, oh man, 3 come back. That's ridiculous. Yeah, if they Apocalypse are bored, like this could have been easier. Like I think you Apocalypse one of those clicks. Admittedly though, it is pretty click hungry too. Like you need to spend 2 clicks for each of them in theory. Good game. I think we showed off this stuff well. Can't even Crisium APOC with LTF around. You can't even Crisium APOC? LTF, you can't run central servers like the Fire, Kyle. You have to, it's only remotes. So you can Crisium on centrals works actually. Hey, you too. Yeah, that's a really big deal. I would like to some extent, maybe Light the Fire would be obviously be more powerful. I'd love if Light the Fire could like run and trash Wanzas, but oh my god. Yeah, no, it's only remote servers. All right, let's try it again. We're just gonna keep it casual. I guess that's a better idea. Midnight Sun Booster Proxies. Corp. Let's go. If anyone wants to try some cards, down to see it. We saw Revolver. It didn't actually matter, but such are sentries in this deck. Tithonium would have been nice. Well, no, because they ran the code gate first. It actually wouldn't matter. It would have been annoying. They'd have to find their paperclip or whatever their factor is. This thing is 5 influence. That was a surprise, right? When they originally showed this, it wasn't 5 influence. But yeah, it's you see a lot of cards, and you don't need the setup of like Hushek. I wonder if people are like intimidated because no one has built proxy decks yet. Oh no, other people are. Deer's playing it. What is everyone most excited for out of these like 7 cards? I don't know if Light the Fire is like the most exciting card because like it doesn't change how you play in like a very or how you deck build. It just allows you to do a very powerful thing. But I think it's the most impactful card. I'd love to see Vladisibirsk like do something. Man, Azov is like not great. Like I think with Azov we might actually want to cut them and just play like 4/2s because we can score them out. Yeah, I'm hyped for the NBA upgrade too as well. Yo, real talk. I don't know if Nisei is like discussed about this, and I don't know whether they should. But Vladisibirsk is, you know, this is a Russian thing, right? And like I imagine a lot of the cycle takes place in Russia and talks about Russian stories. And obviously right now a lot of people are obviously distancing themselves from Russia for like very obvious reasons. I don't know whether that's something that's right now like very uncomfortable for Nisei. Someone just said gun. Deep dive was the most interesting to me, but that experience of whiffing happened a lot. Yeah, it'll happen. It's the same as Hushik, right? Yeah, I don't know whether Nisei is gonna like if that changes the way that they design cards or talk about narratives when referencing Russia. I think Azov needs a neurospike. Yeah, I don't think Azov, like, I think that's what we've said about Azov. Like, Azov is the 5th, 6th, and 7th 3/2 that you're excited to score off. Like, it's in the ranking of the 3/2s, it's at the bottom. So I feel like you need to build in something. I had a thought, Crisium Grid on remotes to prevent LTF trashing something like City works. It doesn't work, Town Drunk. You're almost works. Yeah, I see you said no, it doesn't work because it blanks the text on the Crisium. Azov seems like you'd want to play it early to slow the runner with the damage, but that's not when you want to draw it because, yeah, exactly. No, I totally believe Macaroni. It's like very, very clumsy. Like trashing you in fast events decks, you don't install a lot of cards. Like we didn't want to, if we trashed one of our ice, it has a huge impact on the game. The fact that we had to install an NGO front just to get a trash kind of shows you like how clumsy that can be. But like if we didn't have that, it would be bad. It's a 2 of in this deck right now. Would it even be called Russia in the Nisei universe? So it wouldn't be the Zangief League or some other stand-in? I have no idea. I have no idea how they're going to deal with that. And I'm interested to know whether that changes like their narratives, whether that changes their story. If you read, if I'm not mistaken, I reread the Sundog narrative story just like last night, and it's obvious where it's happening, but I don't think it refers to nations. It refers to corporations, and that's kind of like the like Netrunner thing. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I wonder if people are uncomfortable by that. Makes trap net damage decks very potent. Yo, I'm going to build a prison deck really soon. I feel like Russia in the world of ANR is pretty disconnected from the current Russian leadership. Yeah, no, maybe. But I'm wondering how Nisei works with that. Ooh, Lou, okay. We have a lot of trashables. It's kind of dicey just to like score hostile here. So I think we might actually just ice up Mouseless on HQ. I just don't want to let an open HQ to an imp because it can do a lot of damage to us. Yeah. We might Audacity out this Atlas. 44 cards. We are off to our race. I think we can draw once. HQ. Hedge. Advancing this doesn't really matter. Again, there's no mass comms, but it's technically better than clicking for credit, but not always, because you're actually saying that this is an advanceable ice. So they know this is not Afshar. They know this is not border control, and that actually is worth something. I think Light the Fire is going on my max decks for sure. Not sure what to get rid of, though. That's the thing about max decks, Macaroni. You don't have to get rid of anything. Shit. Just play more cards. It's max. Did you not learn anything from Worlds? Wow, Stargate down early. That's going to be a big deal because it controls how easily we can draw into ice. Oh, wall-to-wall spin doctor border control. That's actually hard because if they trash the border control, we get access to the spin doctor. I think Netrunner still has real-world places like California, but the geography is a bit different. Yeah, I reckon that like the corporations have more power than... So we could draw, install spin doctor, and hope we top deck ice. We're looking at 10 ice and 33 cards at that point. Or we can just score an Atlas and eat another Stargate. I think we need the spin doctor just because we're dealing with a Stargate anyways. If we put this on the table, it's like we can draw. Oh, shit. That's really quite bad. Oh, that's really quite ugly. That sucks. I hate to see that. Are you going to bring on any playtesters soon to discuss the new cards? Not really. That's not something I've considered. Like talking to playtesters specifically, because I'm not sure what they can actually add to the conversation, like what they're allowed to say. This sucks. I guess I can go to 71 cards. I'm looking to do a video to like review all of them and talk about them in depth the way that we've talked about other stuff. We've just shuffled in 2 agendas, so the chance of this being bad for us is a bit higher. This is interesting. Tithonium's like obviously a problem for them. Yeah. All right, so we're at 3 ace out of 12 down, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, oh, this is us. Wall to wall is, hey, it's not that good. It draws us deeper. It draws us a hedge fund and an NGO front. I'm not sure if we want to do that. I think here we just like hope that everything's okay. We score this out for what, 6 credits in sum? Oh, 7 credits, excuse me. So they know the top card is an NGO front. Whoa, they're not trashing this turn. And the Stargate worth knowing is like it doesn't actually trigger Lu because Lu hasn't accessed the card. So now we'll res this. We'll draw a card first. We knew that card. We'll gain a credit. Place advancement. Might as well. Shit. This is only a res dice. We could Audacity here, but it's very quite ugly. Okay, that's what we need. And we're going to have too many cards here. I think we're just going to get rid of the other wall-to-wall. Okay. So, ice, not a lot. I would love to jam behind something. They're going to get, the bad publicity does help them. This is 2 credits, and they've got to credit a card. They have 2 breakers in the bin. This thing we definitely would, actually, we'd consider dedicating this. But now if we top deck a Rococo, we're like pretty good. They have all breakers. Felt the wall-to-wall would slow them down. We didn't need a hedge. Wall-to-wall doesn't really slow them down that much because they trash this for 2 credits. They gain a credit and a card draw. It's not that bad. The hedge fund, I think, is actually better. If it was not Lu, maybe. But it is Lu with bad publicity, right? So we can do install, advance. They know that we have an NGO front. I hope it'll actually bait them into something. This gives us, this is actually quite good. NGO front with a single advancement is really good in Built to Last. Cut the wall-to-wall, maybe, maybe. We've only played 1 game so far, 2 games. So the wall-to-wall seems okay. Again, the advanceable ice component of it is less relevant because we're not, again, no mass comms, no trigger light. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. Maybe it could just be Rashida. That would be better. But yeah, it's definitely not an important card. Overclocking, so we might as well force them some money out. If we don't res here, actually they lose the entirety of the overclock, so we're not going to res. Now they just paid 1 credit to do a run. Otherwise they would install their thing for free. They have all their breakers, right? So I don't think we can really jam behind there. I've been installing a single and cross drop rates to help ease the sting of BP from the hostiles. I really don't like that card that much. So we can install this. We can dedicate it. we can can't. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, the tag punishment's like, the tag is technically relevant. Give us a dedication. Oh, that's uglier. So this is the problem with Lou, right? So now if Lou trashes, it's a 4 trash cost. Cut wall to wall, play standoff and archer for good sentry. We cut archer from this list. Standoff is like maybe not the worst thing in build to last, but like I'm not excited about it. I'd rather play, if I'm doing standoff, like I think I'd rather, what's it called, play buy a mile, I'd rather play Tithonium. Never mind, they have all breakers in the bin. Yeah, they have everything. So they can get through this. Again, it's gonna be 6 credits, 3 on install, 3 on break. This they trash for 4. This is a Vladisibirsk. The trash cost is 4, despite what it says. So this actually hurts them a bit. Like they're going to be up on, it's only 3 credits after the card draw. But we have to force them in the remote server. We need to get a reconstruction. We can't score out here anymore. Fermenter? Okay. Paladin Puemo? Okay. Had the Netrunner Corsa right before got axed. So glad it's back. Such a good game. Zachary, hey, yeah, it's really quite good right now. And we're seeing new cards. It just came out. This is ugly. This is really quite ugly. I think we could consider audacity out, but now with this many agendas in hand, we need reconstruction or we're done. Oh, that helps. Ugh. What is this? Mouseless good, Aket good. Okay. And this is where like Sapper's really annoying because they just reinstall their breaker. At least this is like good enough. 7. So that's the cool thing is like if they play down, excuse me, I hit the microphone. If they play a Light the Fire, like we have to pop our Spin Doctor. Like, do you see how powerful that is? How necessary are the out of print kits from FFG? It depends what you want to do, Zachary. If you want to play Netrunner modernly, like all the Nisei stuff is wildly accessible. And I think that format that's just Nisei stuff is really, really, really quite good. Most importantly, if you want to play the standard format, which includes like the last couple of years of FFG stuff, it's by no means necessary. Proxies are totally legal in organized play at like any level of Nisei stuff. So it's technically not necessary at all. I think if you want the best, like pick this up as a board game to play with friends, I would pick Nisei. Yeah, I don't think I'd have a recommendation, especially the hunt down the expensive stuff from FFG. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But I'm saying regardless, on top of any of that, the best stuff right now is the Nisei stuff for learning to play the game and playing the game casually. Install. Reconstruction. Yeah, we're just going to score out an Atlas. Embrace it as a print and play game. Yeah, it's really quite good. Again, proxies are totally allowed. Secondly, 100%. Everything owning, even owning everything from FFG. I've been doing Nisei for accessibility with friends. Exactly. Yeah. Like the way I play this game casually with friends is always Nisei stuff. Do you have a copy of Down the White Nile? I do. But I was playing Netrunner back at that time, of course. So I do have every FFG release. But it's not like I went back and paid, you know, good money to hunt these things up. I just had them. They were like $20 at the time. Right now, they're much more expensive. But again, like I understand people want the real article, but like, again, it's not necessary. Okay, that's a Vladisibirsk, which we could install on the Spin Doctor server. I think we do that. Again, Sapper, not that relevant. It's better in hand sometimes. Which is used as a bio vault. What is the hardest thing to find right now if you're actually hunting FFG cards? I imagine it's White Nile and Rain of Reverie, right? I keep Nisei Startup Gateway in my backpack in case I run into someone who wants to learn to play. One of my favorite things in terms of like getting card games to the table is I bought one of these like vaults that Game Genic makes. I'll bring one over after this game. And it's just like this box with a bunch of drawers and compartments. And basically I have a couple of them. My partner just got me one actually as a present for our anniversary. And it's incredible. Like I can just bring this singleton box and put it on the table and it has all the Nisei stuff. It's all organized. I love dividers. And then next to it is like all the Doomtown stuff. Eventually it'll be all the World Breaker stuff. I have one that has all the like Flesh and Blood $13 learn to play decks, which I think is actually like one of the best ways to play that game by a mile, casually. I just want to use everything so sad I missed out on most of this. Zachary, it's obviously going to be really hard. You play on JNet, you have everything, but like I would not hunt down everything. Again, you can just like get nice printed versions. Go to Proxy Nexus, which is a website. Go to like your Kinko's or whatever it's in the States, or get it printed. Put it in sleeves. Nice. After Winchester Biovault. Sick. The problem is we're not going to draw an agenda. Shout out to World Breakers, one amazing game. Yeah, I need to play more of that. Yeah, I hear you. Like, I'm somebody who like collects all their stuff. Yeah. Collects other stuff, right? I've been playing so much Too Many Bones, and like I've gone through the back catalog and picked up all the Too Many Bones stuff. If anyone wants to talk about Too Many Bones, I'm totally down. So you know, it's mixed. So I hear you. There's also awesome alt art. Yeah, that's true. The Rain and Reverie cycle has this like alt art version made by the community. So you can just like get really nice printed from Make playing cards. They don't look like the FFG ones. A lot of the arts are even better. But I don't think it's fully complete yet, is it? All right, 17 credits against a Stargate. Like, what do? We could have scored out here. Do we triple advance at Afshar? Actually, it might be right. Where can you find the base game for Too Many Bones? From their website. Actually, in Canada, there's a bunch of stores that are carrying it. Like 401 Games carries it. The Dice Owl carries it. Board Game Bliss carried it. But you can order directly from them. The shipping's not terrible. Some of the Too Many Bones stuff, like Undertow, has been out of stock for a while. This increases the cost pretty significantly. I don't want a dedication. What's coming up on the deck? Winchester. Yeah, this sucks. At least it's not that expensive. Data and Destiny goes for a very disgusting amount of secondhand places. Oh, gross. Okay, that makes sense. Winchester R&D, it's fine. I think Sapper R&D is, I guess Winchester is like what, 4 strength? Yeah, that's annoying. Oh, that's good. Mouseless. That's annoying for them. They probably don't break it. Oh, it's last click. Maybe the tag is they're scared of it. I don't know. Let me just get one of the binders, actually. I'll show you what it looks like. We'll do a big camera, 1 second. All right, we'll wait for the game. So 3 boosts, 3 breaks, 2 subroutines. So they have 1 more subroutine. They'll probably give us the credit. So they see 2 cards here. They draw a card. Hitting the Sapper would be rude. It would cost them generally 3 credits. I guess no, we trash the Stargate, so they'd break it. Dedication, hit the Sapper, please. Damn it. Best bet is watching out for people selling the whole collections. Yeah, that's probably the easiest way, is that people sell whole collections that are just, you know, don't want to have it anymore. That's easier than searching down bespoke pieces. Because I think the people who are individually selling pieces are like scalping. Like they understand what they have. They don't like care that someone enjoys it. They care they get money. Shit. Okay. That's good enough. It can maybe eat a Stargate. This doesn't do anything, right? Like this, they pay 4 credits, I guess. That's not the worst, but like they'll trace it. They won't break it. Having 2 Audacities in hand seems kind of useless, he says, until he gets imped. I've picked up a bunch of older sets from some websites doing Black Friday and clearance sales. Yeah, there were some old sets that were like Miniature Market, I think, was clearing out. It was very cheap, but a lot of it was, oh, now they play hardware. It was the like rotated stuff. But no one has Data and Destiny for MSRP. Yeah, I believe it. Nothing in here, right? No, we're clean. I'm worried for the imp to come down. Once the imp comes down, it's a nightmare, but they don't know what we're drawing off the top of R&D here. So we have a small chance of getting an agenda here, please. No. We can score an agenda here. Okay, this is interesting. Because we can score this out. We can trash the border control. Man, Ozef, I don't like you. I really do not like the Ozef. I think the Whoredom is the worst part of this remote server. I think we would trash the Whoredom. It's res, though. What do we trash here? Got all Flashpoint for like 20 bucks. Damn. Nice. We can still score this out. Am I not using the remote anymore? Yeah, I think we do score this out. But I think we trashed the mouseless? No. Yeah, because this is already resed. This is expensive. Oh. 1, 2, 3. The Miniature Market sale had all the Flashpoint cycle. Oh, no way. I think you're going to like Ozef more than kill deck. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Add counter 3. add counter 0. Just put Winchester on R&D. We don't have the clicks for it. Score. This is an Azef. Should kindly take 2 meat. I have to trash something first, actually. I think we'll trash the mouseless. What's the meat damage? I think it's / take meat too. I think that. You need the space. Take meat is a funny sentence. Oh, they lost the imp. Heck yeah. We needed that. Thanks. All right, end turn. Okay. Yeah, we sniped them good. That imp is terrifying. We're on game point, right? Like, if we top deck nearly anything. Actually, we top deck any agenda, we can score it out. Like, we install, dedicate, Audacity. We can score out a 4-2. Clearly, brain is off. Why went it gone? Oh, yeah, because of the clicks, yeah. Overclocking R&D. What are they overclocking here? Oh, this? Yeah, that's fine. We still have an Audacity. If with Audacity in hand, we can score at a 3-2. So them taking this down is like good, because then we can't dedicate out. Yeah, Azef is a bit annoying. We can't do 4-2. We could. If they didn't trash this, we could, right? Because we dedicate it, install the 4-2, Audacity the 4-2, and then we move over the Vladisibirsk counter. So we actually could have scored a 4-2. Now, they trashed that, which makes sense. But now we can only do 3-2s. Like this one. Heart of the cards, baby. They really let off their pressure, which was a bit surprising. I thought they had it for a while. Yo, we did not get punished by that turn 1 Stargate 2 Adv. Yeah, I think so. You were in total control for a while. If you lock the top of R&D, we couldn't draw any agendas. Thanks for the game. We practice against the new cards. Of course. Hey, my pleasure. Yeah, R&D held strong early, but they let their pressure off. You could tell. And so there's a couple of turns where we started drawing unknown cards, and we needed that. I think they could have locked. They just have to run R&D every second turn, if not every turn. But we weren't drawing aggressively. It was a good game. We can do one more. These are fast. Proxying Midnight. Oh, let me get the box. 1 second. Double deep dive dodge is a good omen. Yo, that and Jumon. Like, we've been having no okay day. Okay, hold on. Let me show you what I do. I overdo it with dividers. I feel like this is the best we can do for camera. 1 second. Okay, box. This is a Gamegenic. It's called a Game Vault or something. It looks like a big box. It's covered in this like Xeno skin-esque material. It has a flap, and you can remove it. Okay, I'm not being paid for this. Don't worry. And you can remove it, and then Gamegenic, what they really want to do is they want to make sure everything. Wait, do I just have a wide camera here? I don't think I do. They want to make sure that everything they do, rumor mill art cute, yeah, has a double purpose. So this actually like folds into a dice tray, which is it's nice. You can do that. So now how this is organized. Yeah, they're magnetized and they have these additional clips, which is great. So this on the left, it's all color coded. These are all Doomtown decks. So like this orange is the first peoples. It's all here. So you just pull this out, you're good to go. We have extra jokers up here and some dice. This is all Nisei stuff. So this blue tab at the beginning, this is like the starter corp deck. The black underneath is the extra 10 cards or whatever. Then you have the runner deck under red with the extra cards, and then it's by faction. All the HB, Jinteki, yellow, green, neutral cards, so on and so forth. So like if we just want to play some Netrunner gateway, we just bring this out. This is all you need. And then on top of these boxes have really nice drawers here. So this, I don't actually know what any of these, I forgot. This has a bunch of poker chips in different colors, largely for Doomtown, but you could use them for anything. Oh, I didn't put my Netrunner counters in here. My OCD brain's on fire right now. Yo, I love organizing stuff like this. This one also at the bottom, it's a huge tray, more poker chips for Doomtown. I think on the back, these are more Doomtown. We got like Ghost Rock and a Sheriff badge. And I think, oh yeah, this is Netrunner tokens. So these little trays, you just put them on a table, you're good. This is all like the virus counters and tags and credits. Like it's enough for one person. And this has been so easy. This gets to the table so easy, right? It's like you want to play Netrunner, we're ready in like half a minute, not even. You pull this out, you can build a deck. It's great. Zuba, how's it going? It's incredible. Yeah, and I have one of these for Arkham, and it's so nice too. Hold on one second, I'll just show it. The Arkham one's really organized. Doomtown, yeah, Doomtown. Doomtown's great. So this is the Arkham one. It's blue, same idea. So we got Chaos Bag, extra sleeves. The characters we're playing, the little minifigures. This is all the connecting, the little, I think they're orbits connectors for locations. This is a die for Lola to tell what faction you're in. And then this has 2 cycles in it. These are the decks we're playing. On the right, this is all Edge of the Earth, so all the encounter cards, and then all the sets. Same on the left. This is whatever the one with the fish. What's the name of the one with the fish in it? That's all there. So it's all the encounter cards. These orange ones are like the base ones that are reused. All that. Then the compartments. Here we have all the nice tokens. So all the like Bless, Curse, Frost, all the other stuff. Innsmouth, yeah, that's it. Yeah, the fish one. Who knows? The bottom is all the player cards and all the extra chaos tokens. I have the nice orbits ones. Something Innsmouth. That's it. Then on the back, I'm a huge fan of this box, and this box also is self-contained too. Like this is all we need to play Arkham, because this has all the clues and Doom, nice orbit stuff. And then this has been the biggest breakthrough, is that we just bought a bunch of like really cheap, what's it called, Chessex, like the smaller dice, like the 10 millimeters. We just bought like a bunch in each color. We put them all in here, so now we have this, and it's just a bunch of different dice. So there's red and blue for health. There's yellow for whatever you want, generally credits or resources. The gray you can use for charges. There's purple for charges, green for whatever you want. But all we need is this. We put this down. It's enough dice to do everything. If you want to do these as clues, like this is all we need. It's so great. It's like, do you want to play Arkham? Boom, you bring this. I guess you need the we have them on like iPads, or if you have them on your phone, there's like the thing that reads you through the narrative and everything. But like these boxes they're expensive. They're really well put together. They're useful. The flap comes out of the way and goes underneath the thing. Like it straps onto the bottom. Like they're so good. They're so good. And this is it. Like you want to play Arkham? We just put this on the table. You're good to go. It's sick. What's this box called? It's the, again, not paid to do this, obviously. I've been a big fan. Gamegenic, Game Vault or Dungeon or something. I don't know. Is Doomtown a 2-player card game as well? Yeah, it is. I don't think it's the Dungeon. We'll find it. It is. They just redid it. There's a new core set coming out this year. I know very little about it, but we play like the starter decks that they used to like advertise, like very casually. I have all the Doomtown cards though, but it's really quite good. It's really quite good. Is it the Dungeon? This never loads well, their website. No, this is not it. It's the 6. Oh, it's the Lair. Oh, fun enough. I think Tolarian Community College just announced the Kickstarter they have for this like deck box that's perfect for Flesh and Blood. I think this is it. Sorry you have to watch this video. Yeah, it's just the Lair. It comes in 3 colors: red, nice, blue, and then the Gamegenic black orange, which shows up on a bunch of their exclusive sizes. This orange is terrible. It's not a good orange. Like, it's so easier to make a slightly better orange than this. I'm not a big fan of the orange, but this thing is amazing. It doesn't come with the dividers. You have to buy those separately. So does the Netrunner box your whole Netrunner collection or just a startup set? That is only System Gateway. My collection is all in binders. You want to see them, actually? We can do it. Here's the top tip: blank cards for instant proxying. Easy. Amazing magnets, yeah. Dice endlessly useful. Is it satisfying to have just a couple of complete cycles, or do you find like wanting more content? Jeremiah, for Arkham, because for Arkham I have everything, but like for Arkham, the older sets are stored in like their return to boxes, so they're organized on their own. But like if we're playing something, I just put this in this box because we play with generally Maddie and I play with our my sister's fiance down the street, so like this is what all we bring. Or I play with my friends. I don't usually bring this unless they come over. Then it's here by default. Yeah, it's expensive, Scrub. It's definitely expensive. One of these was a gift, so mileage may vary. Yeah, that's just the casual. Like all the Arkham cards, like I have everything. They're all in binders. Once they're like right here. Right, like I have binders and binders. These are seeker cards. I think we showed these before on stream. but like I'll store all the player cards and binders generally for every game I own that cares about this sort of stuff. And so it's just binders. They're organized by generally type and release date with the XP cards at the back. So straight up, we want to see the binders. Okay. It's just like this, like binder, label maker. These are the ultimate guard, ultrapo, I think sleeves. And it's just everything laid up. I put in, technically in Arkham, it's 2 of, so every sleeve technically has 4 cards every section, right? So 2 on each side, 2 on each side. I haven't had problems with that. For Netrunner, it's 6 on each one, 3 and 3. And it's just organized by release date, by asset, or by type. So it's like all the investigators, then all the assets, then all the events, all the skills. I think allies are a separate page too. And then on top of that, after that's all the XP cards. And I think for Guardian, like weapons are separate because that's more technically interesting. I organized the rogue one alphabetically by section, which technically is easier if you're like building decks online, like taking them from online and putting them into person, but I'm gonna undo it. I don't think I like it. Yo, straight up though, like playing card games is fun and all, but like straight up organizing them, is that more fun? Sometimes it is, let's be honest. If a link to the Bezos site may be permitted, I can show the deck box I use for NR. Yeah, try it. Can you show us your cat while you're at it too? She is, Thursday night is ladies' night, so she's generally cuddling with Maddie on the couch. Oh, it's an ugly Bezos link. Hold on. Organizing the best part. It really is. Like I'll spend an afternoon, put on music and organize stuff. Continue. I used to keep my Netrunner binders too, but I want to keep my containment tighter to put them back in boxes. I'm not a big fan. I know a lot of people like those white boxes. Oh, these are nice. Oh, this is not gamegenic. It looks kind of like it is, huh? Oh, these are nice. Yeah, I know a lot of people like put them in white boxes and just flip through them. I can't stand it. I'm like a more visual person where I like to open a binder and flip through pages and like look at things and then see like, oh, that's a card I haven't seen in a while. Oh, this is Japanese Amazon, of course. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, no, I like binders a fair bit more. The Netrunner binders are like on top of a shelf and I haven't opened them in a while because if we play Netrunner like at this apartment, it's you know, it's just gateway. So they're really dusty and I don't want to pull them off right now, but we can maybe do it another time. But it's like the same as the Arkham thing. It's just they're bigger binders because one of them is all the runner cards. The other one's not exactly all corp. I think it's like the 3 corps and there's another binder that's all the neutral cards and Wayland because it couldn't fit. But they're organized the same way. It's just like here's all the assets, all the events, all the agendas by release. And I think they're actually separated startup into standard. Startups at the front. Anyways, they're good boxes. They're good quality. I like them. It just makes everything so easy. Like that's such a big deal. It's like getting stuff to the table and getting set up and getting ready to go is something I value so much in card and board games. Like I've been playing Too Many Bones and I know Too Many Bones has a ridiculous like organization thing that I've kind of bought into and it maybe will show up in August this year. Who knows? But like the amount of time you take setting up and setting down, like if someone says you want to play Netrunner, or I tell Maddie, do you want to play Flesh and Blood? And the fact that we can pull out like the fun, balanced, like casual decks in 2 minutes and have all the counters on the table, like that's important to me. Okay, let's do one more. What's it called? Midnight Sun Booster. Yeah, Booster Proxy. I did them investigator and their signatures first, followed by assets, events, and upgrades, all in alphabetical order with the different XP versions next to each other. Since I put cards and binders, standard became a lot less intimidating. Somehow seeing all the sets helps so much. Yeah, I totally agree. Seeing everything is really easy, especially also for startup where like the pool is very small comparatively. Talking about the investigators and putting assets together, I do violate the by release date thing when it comes to XP cards in Arkham. Like if there's 2 cards that are just like one's a 1 XP version, one's a 4 XP version, I will put them together, even if they didn't release next to each other. Did you get the Too Many Bones box? I did. Yes, I did. Oh, you might know the madness that this is. It is madness. I am embarrassed that I technically have paid for that box. If you guys see this box, it's so ridiculous. Smoke. Yeah. Yo, Kyle, don't judge me. It's a sick box. What are you talking about? How do you find out about all these card games? Oh, that's a good question. How did I figure out about these card games? Yes, we can keep this. So Netrunner I've been playing for a long time. And then because I went to Fantasy Flight Games website, I know about Arkham and it's a similar engine. We've been playing that for a long time. Doomtown, same thing. Like Shut Up and Sit Down recommended it. I saw it at a card game store when I was at 401 Games visiting for Christmas. Picked it up, thought it was sick. Been playing it casually ever since. Flesh and Blood was again, you just casually like, I generally dip my toes in. Like Flesh and Blood, we bought like 2 like learn to play blitz decks, and mind you, they're putting out some new content to learn to play stuff for Flesh and Blood, which is technically cool, but for what it's worth, I'm not really playing Flesh and Blood anymore. I am unemployed currently. I can't afford to play that game. For better or worse, mostly for better. Not long till your 3D printing storage solutions. I would be if I had a 3D printer for sure. So we want this in our scoring remote. I think we'll just push out the Biovault. I'm not worried about keeping an HQ iced. We could advance this. I feel like if we res this, we're gonna be out of hedge fund property. We're gonna just do that. So yeah, no, a lot of these card games are recommendations from other people that I know play card games, would like tell you about it. Like, have you tried this? And there's been a lot of card games that people recommended that I haven't caught on. Like it's not everything. These are the things I really enjoy. Like Netrunner's awesome. Arkham Horror is awesome. We picked up a core set of the Lord of the Rings revised edition. We haven't played enough of it. It's been really fun so far. Is Too Many Bones a good game? Seems really pricey. Fault is mine. Yes, it is incredibly expensive. I picked up a bunch of it on sale. It is very, very quite expensive. I know specifically for the core set, I treated myself. It was like a present, but it's not. Yeah, it's way more. I feel like the game is, I've been playing it solo a lot. I've been playing like 3-handed. And it's a really cool game to play solo because you don't have to hold a hand of cards. So it's like physically not clumsy. And I appreciate that for someone who hasn't been interested in like soloing other stuff. Did you ever play Keyforge? I have a couple Keyforge decks like we would buy when they were on sale. Like here's 12 decks for $3. I picked them up. Keyforge has like very little lasting power around here, but it was fun. Wow. Undertow is what a lot of people recommend, but it's out of stock. It's like the most affordable way to get into the game, but it's a bit more complicated. I think Too Many Bones for me is a very satisfying and very fun game. I love a co-op game. It's very crunchy. It's very much the kind of game I would have loved when I was specifically younger. I think there's definitely flaws to the game, but I find it very endearing. It's incredibly overproduced. And if they could produce a way that wasn't all this plastic and all these mats, like the game could have been half the price. But like that's not what they do, for better or for worse. And I get it, kind of. Like it's cool. I'm gonna put this on front of HQ just so we have something to trash. Yeah. No lasting power is Keyforge in a nutshell. Yeah, it's a fun casual game. I played Eon's End once at a friend's. It seemed very similar to other like cooperative deck builders. Jeremiah, no pun included, did a pretty good review of Too Many Bones. They were a bit more negative than Shut Up and Sit Down. Shut Up and Sit Down, I think, didn't do as thorough as a job. I get really upset at some of the no pun includeds. Like, I think they did some things wrong. Like there's just certain facts that they say that I think are factually incorrect. And I'm a fan of NPI. Like I believe Efka referred to Tink, one of the Gearlocks, as a tank, which is so far from being true, and said Tink sucked, which personally hurts me because Tink is like my favorite character. He also, I think, fundamentally described how one of the Gearlocks works technically incorrectly. Like I just think it's not exactly correct. But he's right about a lot of stuff. The game is good. It's a bit flawed. It's overproduced. There's too much plastic in the world. All these stuff is correct. Potentially Merger's Bold. It's our Azef, actually. It's an Azef proxy. Should we reveal the advanced card would be when using a Deddy be fine? Yeah, we could have Deddied it. I don't think we're in a rush to Deddy it. Like, we'd rather Deddy these things. Tink is also my favorite character. Yo, Tink is sick. Tink is like this turret spawning Gearlock who plays backline and has these turrets. They're really strong. I don't know what he's talking about. He's like, it's a tank. It's a bad tank. I'm like, Tink is not a tank just because it sounds like similar. Yeah, I've been really enjoying Too Many Bones. Way more than I thought I would. Like by a mile. Okay, thinking. So, Thom King. We want to do advance, install advanced, trash, yeah, whatever. Advance, res, moyen deux, adv counter. I should probably explain what we're doing. This is a Vladisibirsk. That is my Vladisibirsk proxy 4 trash cost. Oh, it's 3 to res, excuse me. 3 to res. We need to spend more credit, yeah, totally. Score. This is Azef. Could you kindly take 2 meat? Man, these Azefs have been really awkward. Like, we could have scored an Oaktown there. It would have been better than this. I've been playing the old Pokemon TCG video game for Game Boy Color. It's actually a decent time waster if you're looking for something entertaining to do during your graduate classes, for example. It's Take Me To. Yeah, the Steam Deck is showing up tomorrow, so man, you can emulate on that if you want. I'm really excited for that. Yeah. What if they're vegetarian? It's not an option. They got to. Woohoo Steam Deck. Yeah, I'm stoked. My brother's actually like a really big Linux guy, and so like he's constantly the kind of guy who's sending me articles about like Proton support. They've added this. It works now with Vulkan or whatever. Could be the answer. This is Bakugan. What's the storage on Steam Deck? I got the biggest one, which turns out largely not to be necessary. I think people underestimated the load times off of SDs. They're actually pretty good. Kobe and Diesel. So they drew a card off Anacom. It really they drew a card off Anacom. That's what our 2-meat damage did. I know that you play Odzef probably in a kill deck, but I'm just telling you, like as a fast advance piece, there's 4 better 3/2s in the deck. Yeah, Steam Deck I did the big one, the 512. Excited to play some Hitman on it, some Elden Ring. That's gonna be nice. Looking forward to have something to goof with. Oh, we have to unadvance this thing. Cool. I'll let you know how it goes. We can play JNet on it. That's pretty cool. Just bought Elden Ring for PS4 today. Yo, let us know how it goes. I always tune for 20 seconds every once in a while, and these are always great seconds. DJ Influence. I thought it was Bakugan. How's it going, man? Enjoy your weekend. Yeah, I haven't played enough Elden Ring. Steam Deck Asa. It'll happen. It's gonna have like a lot of nice sliding controls. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I haven't played enough Elden Ring because it's a game that my partner and I are playing together, and so it's not like that. There's just less time that we both line up to do video games than just one person. But so I'm not that far, but we've enjoyed what we've seen. I actually think I'm probably farther than I think I am. I was watching a bit of Otstarva doing his like 0-hit run prep, and like it's incredible what you can do. I hear the PS4 Pro is possibly the most stable version of Elden Ring since it has like no frame dips. For what it's worth, they updated the PC version, and it seems to be a bit more stable. We had some pretty bad hitches the first day or the second day, or I think it was actually the Friday, like the day after. But since then they've done an update, and it's nowhere near as rough. Mouse, this is good on R&D. They'll break this for 4 once they get their factor down, or sorry, their decoder. We need to draw an agenda. So we can't score this. I think we just keep it in HQ. Like it's a 1 in 5 on HQ. They generally don't have a lot of HQ pressure, like maybe a Moo Safecracker, but I'm doubtful. I'd be interested if they had like a, what's it called? Jailbreak. Mantle, nice. They still don't have a way to like, they need a program to boost to get net recur value. So it looks like we're going to score Alice with a counter. Or actually, are we? Shit, Azaf, go away. Okay, so we can do install. No, we don't get a counter. Yeah, we don't get a counter. What did we do last click? Wait, we advanced and we didn't advance the Biovault? Oh my god. Instead of clicking for credit, sorry, we didn't click for credit. We could have advanced the Biovault, which would be click for credit, but then we have a Vladisibirsk counter. So like, not good. And if we had that, we actually could have installed. No, we can't have done much else. But like clicking for credit's so much worse than advancing the Vladisibirsk. What were you thinking? Okay, speaking of what are we doing? Yeah, the Steam reviews for Elden Ring were actually quite negative for the first day. People were pretty upset. Like, okay, so we're built to last. So when we advance a card that has no advancements on it, we gain 2 credits. So instead of clicking for credit, you should advance this Biovault. It's nice they updated the major downside to last gen consoles load times. Why are we wasting the Rococo? Thinking. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I was too upset about myself. We should have installed. dedicated the Vladisa, advanced the Atlas, and we would have still got a 3-2 with a counter left over. Yeah, you're right, Thanos. We should not have used that. By a mile, we shouldn't have used that. Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, shit. Feels bad. Yeah, we should have just done that here. They have an after image. They have a top hat. I wonder if they're on yeah, that's embarrassing. Rip, yeah, I know. I was so upset about the last misplay that we just careened out of control. So I think we do install advance advance. If this is advanced, we can do install advance advance. Yeah, okay. That seems like a good credit positive turn. I guess you could dedicate one of these. We could just score out and give up the remote. I don't want to, but you're probably right. Like their fractors, or sorry, yeah, the fractor is generally the worst part of the stealth rig, so I'd be okay with them finding a way to deal with this first. But yeah, we could have just trashed that. Draw for hostile. We only have 2 hostiles in the list. Draw for hostile, I don't think is very reasonable. We just want to like keep the Vladisibirsk and score out every 3-2 we draw, or the 4-2s. It's not only like losing the reconstruction contract was bad. It was like just having another card on HQ is very valuable. Okay, that's a problem too. With 15 influence, the chance of them being on Clot is like not 0. But a lot of times smoke decks, like their influence goes to like after image, then maybe a Trickster Taka, some Deuces Wild or something. Like they don't always have Clot. We still have an Audacity to fall back on if we can't find Hostile. Yeah, no, we can. But like we can probably have our cake and eat it too. I don't know. Stupid Azev. All right, server 1. They're gonna run server 1. Oh, whoa. Their last window is here. Because if they hit no further actions and like we pop the NGO front, they can't pull out this SMC. Okay. So you can't use the SMC once you're accessing. Cool. I just want to make sure that they know that you can't use the self-modifying code during the access step. Because there's no paid ability window while you're accessing. No problem. There's no paid ability during accesses. Awesome. Yeah, cool. So they missed that. That's very easy to miss. So now they're going to just pull out their fractor, I reckon? Or maybe even the decoder. Yeah, it looks like it's the decoder, which is technically a fractor this turn. With 1 click left. So it's Penrose. All good? Otherwise, we would have popped this. They would have lost 5 credits. Anacam draws. Pretty cute. Even more overclock value. And again, yeah, the border control is looking kind of nice. I just wish we had something. I wonder if we do actually consider playing like Urtica Ciphers. It's unfortunate we don't have any on-access traps, right? Advanceable traps in Wayland besides False Flag. Not excited about that. It's a mouseless. It's probably worth resing. They still have to pay like, I guess they have 2 recurring credits, so it's going to be like 2 real credits. Actually, 1 real credit after Nemiker. We'll see. Not the worst. And Azev looks so bad in Donicom. Oh my god. You're hoping not to hit an event. There's a chance we actually trash the mouseless. Oh, no, we need to keep the mouseless because they have top hat. If we have nothing on R&D, they're just going to lock the top 4 cards every turn. Well, they'll look at them. They can't like trash ice, but like, yeah, we need ice on R&D. Stupid Azev. Break all subroutines. Okay, cool. I think they could have given us a credit there. Giving a credit's not good if you're worried about specifically border control. And here, top hat, they choose a number, and then they can see that card. They have to name the number. They can't see all 5 cards and then pick one. So you saw the top? No. I don't have spell shenanigans. Cool. All right, so they just saw an Audacity. I don't want to Audacity at 2 dedication ceremonies. Okay, draw once. Not great. I think we just hit this. Score this F. I don't think we have anything good to trash. How Rongi just scored the Vlad grid. We could have, but like, what do we trash? Like, what are we trashing then? The border control? It seems really good. Yeah. I don't think so. Like, I want to keep this. You're probably right that we're probably fine with an Audacity hand. We could have just trashed it. Yeah, I think you're right in retrospect. I felt like we should have protected this. I think I'm just going to do this. And I'm not going to play the Hedgehog because I want to keep it as padding in hand. Yeah, you're probably right because we're going to have to do this anyways. Yeah. Trash the grid. I think trash the grid is a bit worse because they still have to trash this for 4. I think we'd rather trash the border control. Oh, actually, I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe just trash the grid. That's interesting. It's a shame that we used a reconstruction contract for no reason. That was a mistake. Not only did we lose the card, we lost the credit. So yeah, this has been a bit sloppy for sure. Oh, peace. Okay. Well, that means we're scoring this out for sure. And we actually could top deck a card and install it with merger. Now that we can do install, advance, move tokens, trash something. So hopefully we just like throw out anything. Really a wall-to-wall with this card. Man, peace, so good. Anarch makes these events so much better. Okay, give me the trashable. Yes! Winchester, perfect. HQ. Hope to top deck the 4-2. Yeah. Advance to get value. Now we have to type this a couple times. Count 0. Shit. Excuse me. 2 more meat, kindly. And we'll get rid of the Winchester. All right, so now we're on game point. We have access to an Audacity and a dedication, so we can score a 4-2 off the top. We install the 4-2, we dedication, and then Audacity. This doesn't count, actually. We'd be short cards. This doesn't count for the card to play, right? They lost an imp and an overclock, so they did draw a card. Losing the imp is the best case for us. That imp actually was meaningfully. That's the second time we've hit an imp off of an Azap and been pretty happy about it. Especially with an open HQ and fast advance pieces. Cleaver coming down. Good. 3rd overclock. We're coming for the remote server. If we res the border control, we could... I don't think we res the border control. No, it's 4 to trash. Doesn't matter. It's coming off the overclock. They could boost here with smoke if they wanted to. Just 2 more. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, right. It doesn't matter because the overclock credits, they had extra. But technically, Vladisibirsk is 4 credits. Audacity HQ. It might be worth for them like installing a simul chip or something that like threatens a clot, but so far we're seeing 3, 4, 5. Peace in our times influence 6, 7. Imp is 8, 9, 10. So it's getting less likely that they have a clot. But sometimes you just want to threaten a clot card so that if we top deck, we can't just like jam. We actually have to consider it. This is awkward. We do. I think we could consider drawing once. Oh, that's good. Is this any amount of advancements? Yeah, face up card. We'll advance this once. Okay, that's cool. Because if they trash that, we have Recoco from hand with Audacity, so we can do install agenda Audacity for 3-2. We can always... Sorry, we can Recoco. We have a lot of options. This needs to stick for us to get a 4-2, though, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, Councilman. I haven't seen that in a while. They break for free. Why not just draw? I'm kind of worried about holding an agenda in hand. They slam into it, but you might be right. Councilman is an issue because Councilman gets around Recoco. This they trash for 4. They should have boosted a breaker there if we didn't res, because you have a free counter. You can move from the mantle into the Netrunner. Agendas we can score out. We have 2 more ally, 2 more hostile, so it's 1 and 6. If they trash this, we can't score. We can't score the this Councilman's actually annoying. I'm gonna bait the Councilman. Yeah, I think we bait the councilman. I'm not sure if we need to, but we can. They have to pop it here, otherwise we just like dedicate win. They know we have an Audacity in hand. I'm not that worried about keeping the reconstruction contract. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we can't re-res it this turn, councilman. This used to actually be like a hot tech card around Jackson Howard. He used to play this and then like run archives. It was quite something. All right, so we can tax their clicks out. We could draw once. We can also install the NGO front. I think we can draw once and then install the NGO front. Oh, that's fantastic. We just want to force them to have to deal with the table. Yeah, they know they have an Audacity in hand, but there's a chance that, like, I don't know, Biotic Labor or something. Maybe it wasn't right to shut this down. But now if they don't deal with this, we can score out any agenda from the deck. Oh, find the truth. Wow. And we can't actually trash this unless it has advancements on it. But it'd be nice sometimes to deny the successful run for Find the Truth. That is more influence. We talked about having a Find the Truth smoke deck with Cleaver actually last week. This is really cool. And Geofront, you can trash that for one. They might just leave it. 1 credit doesn't seem that important. Again, you can always boost your breakers. It only matters if you are going to not run it. I think you do it anyways. I don't know. Maybe you have your last click planned. They trashed it. All right, HQ. There's one trashable. They found a hedge fund. So this thing stuck. So any agenda off the top is good. That's not an agenda. Res will hit 2 agendas here. No agendas. Last click. Huh. I think we just play the hedge fund. We could dedicate the mouseless. I think they break the mouseless anyways, but we could consider dedicating it. I just don't see a world where we need 2 dedications. Unless they bring their imp back. I'm maybe more worried about that than like the edge gains for the mouseless, so we'll hedge fund. But hedge funding was not that much better than clicking for a credit. Maybe we click for a credit, but just to have less trashables in hand, but I feel like we want to keep these trashables in our hand regardless. We also have a shuffle effect, so if they don't run this first and see the top of R&D, we can always shuffle with Spin Doctor. But generally they run the Spin Doctor first. The thing is, like, I don't think we trash Spin Doctor. I don't want any of these cards back in the deck. Like, I just want to have the highest chance to draw an agenda off the top of the deck. Whatever agenda count. We're at 10 agendas, 4 out of the game, so it's 6 and 19. That's a Beth. Wow. Shit. Nothing. Cleaver actually is kind of annoying. Or the Telonium, excuse me, is annoying for the Cleaver. Spin? I don't want to shuffle with the spin. Like, I don't want to have agendas in. We could have put the second spin down, actually. That was probably better. But now we're committing to an error. Yeah, draw with the second spin is probably right. Yeah. No, the other spin is probably correct. This is good, though. 6 agendas and 16 cards. Felt like we could have had it by now. They have 5 clicks because we have 19 credits. I wonder if they're setting up a deep dive. Wait, they have to be setting up a deep dive, right? Because we haven't seen any other proxy cards. Damn. Okay. Like a hostile off the top would have closed the game at any point now. They've seen the top of the deck, but now again, we still have a Spin Doctor on the table. So at this point, we'd consider shuffling. The wall-to-wall represents card draw, which is exactly what we need to win. They've seen pieces in hand. They know we have a Rococo on the table. I think they know we have a dedication and an Audacity. So they really have to like just block the top of the deck. Yeah, we could have installed with the Spin Doctor. There's a chance also that if we first click, install the Spin Doctor and drew with it, with 2 clicks, could we have scored out? Yeah, we could have scored out. We could have installed a 3-2 dedicated. Yeah, we definitely should have done it. No, Ashes feels like no deep dive. I think Beth might be deep dive though. But like they're playing in a proxy room. We haven't seen anything yet. They're not playing Revolver. I'm not sure. Wall-to-wall stays, which is good. That's extra card draw. All right, they're going in. We have to shuffle with Spin Doctor. We'll shuffle 1 card because they saw the top of the deck. This Seems like a, you know, a triggered run. That's another good reason to keep Spin Doctor, but we would have kept one Spin Doctor. They have 3 counters on Trickster Taka. Definitely want to use one of them at a minimum. If they steal an agenda, this gets replenished. They can't win off Deep Dive without the extra click, right? Win? No. This is always really unnerving when you see the constant typing. All right. It's 5. Continuing movement. Again, they've seen the top of the deck with Find the Truth, so we're going to go ahead and just shuffle a card. We want to find the most annoying card off the top. I think it would just be another Spin Doctor, right? I think we're only going to shuffle one in. I don't think there's anything else we really wanted. Because again, we want to make sure, we want to make sure that we are drawing agendas. Spin Doctor technically could replace itself, and we could still score out. So this is an unknown card. We shuffled. Top hat, replacement effect. They act as the 5th card. What's happening? Heart of the cards at that point. But I think you want to see the top card because we're going to draw it. Whoa, that's wild. That's also a really cool interaction with Top Hat and Find the Truth. If you see not an agenda, you just pick second, right? We're going archives here. It's fine. I have to remember to res the wall to wall. I'm going to forget. 1 click left. So no deep dive because they ran R&D archives. Yeah, I think you definitely want to see the top of the deck. Like you need to deny the draw. First or even second could be relevant because of wall to wall, but definitely first at least. They just had the heart of the cards there. Border control. If we res it, they break it for free. We could always end the run here, but it's not that relevant. I'm just going to keep it a surprise. Audacity. Spend the money? I don't know. Doesn't really change anything. I'd like to keep this as a surprise so that if they, like, they don't know that's here, so if they do something like a jailbreak and it's relevant, you know? Draw a card. Okay. Advance. I guess this. Oh, nice. 2. They have no way to threaten a clot. That'll take it. Funny enough, you actually can install advance of. Oh, we don't have a Recoca. Good one. Are you playing Deep Dive? Yeah, sorry. I thought this was a Vladisibirsk, but we could have scored that out like 3 different ways. We actually could have drawn once. 3, 4, 5. Funny enough, 6 was the agenda and 2. All right, I don't know if we're playing Deep Dive. Anywho, that's gonna be it for tonight. It's late actually. It's past midnight. We can't go too late. Thanks so much for hanging out again. We have the Midnight Sun Booster cards. They're gonna be soon enough on Jaina, that's for sure. On Nisei. Oh, it's just standard. Ah, cool. Cool. Yeah, so they should be online soon enough. I have no doubt people are testing it. We're gonna be trying out the cards obviously for the next couple of weeks. I'll try and put together a video talking about them, but I want to do some testing first. So I'll do like a review video and go through all 7. But that's largely it. We'll be back here on Thursday. Again, just some quick updates. Nisei is doing a raffle. So if you want to just put your name down on Reddit, you just have to write a comment. You can get all the Midnight Sun Booster Pack cards. So that's in there. We were promised another fancy box of bones. Oh, it doesn't exist. Yeah, okay, hold on. This is the silliest thing. Too many bones storage solution. Thanks for the stream. Enjoy the stream deck and vacation. Thank you. Okay, so I guess I'll show you this. It's called the Trove Chest. It is really, really silly. Too many bones is like a very like physically heavy thing. Like it's a lot of plastic pieces. Too many bones, Trove Chest. So they made this thing called a Trove Chest, which is like $150. And it's just like this giant box that has all these compartments, and it's exactly the size of a Calyx shelf, which is kind of like the standard of, like, I don't understand board game designers who make their boxes bigger than Calyx shelves. It's really annoying. But it's this giant box, and it doesn't even have handles on it. You have to get this like magnetic, it's like a magnet, like kind of like a ring with bones on it, and you push the magnet to the door that has a magnet inside it, and you pull it out. And like you can see it in person, all the components have like really nice plastic things. So to pull it out, you just pull out, like I'm playing this gear lock. So you pull out the stanza gear lock and give it to someone, which is huge. It turns set up from like having all these like 12 different boxes and opening them, and you just hand somebody a thing and they're good to go. But it's all like organized the way, you know, I'd love it. But it's just like ridiculous giant MDF cube, right? The exact size of a calyx shelf with all these like weird compartments. It's ridiculous. It's incredibly expensive. It's like, it's unfortunate because it seems sort of necessary. Because if you have all this stuff, it's so hard to organize. Yeah, the magnetic key is like really cute. The cool thing too is like Too Many Bones has, like, they said that the stuff coming out of the next like game found / Kickstarter thing is like going to be it. And so everything that they've produced fits in this box, and that's going to be it. But yeah, I'm at a point where like I have a stack of boxes like this high on a cabinet over there, and I have to open each one individually because they all have different gear locks in it. But yeah, it's a bit goofy. But yeah, maybe I'm a chump for picking this up, but I'm kind of excited. That's the trope chest. It's ridiculous. It's like straight up ridiculous. Just enough bones. Yeah, right? If they could ever design just enough bones. You could hire someone to set it up for you every time you play. Yeah, that's an idea. It's always like way more time than I think. It's like, I'm going to sit down and like I'm going to clean up, and then like it takes you 15 minutes to put everything back. But I'm also playing Legacy, which has a bit more like setup, because you have to remember each person has scars and like what cards. But if you find joy worth it, that's the way I see it. Like, I've spent enough time in the game so far that I'm definitely getting my money's worth. And it's the sort of game that I'm going to be pretty excited to play forever, especially because it's co-op. It's really easy to like bring anyone into it. Anywho, that's going to be it. We gotta shut this one down. I think Maddie wants to go to sleep. We're a bit late. That's it. We'll be back in a week. Again, World Breakers, we have the stream. It's a bit dodgy in terms of the frame rate, but the content seems okay, I hope. But print and play is available for that game if you want to get in on it. Otherwise, we'll be back in a week. Take care, y'all.